Good evening, Shelfside Spurs Easters. We are back by unpopular demand. Well, we all wanted to see each other again. I don't know if you guys wanted to see us again, but it's the terrible trio. Hello, Rez.
Hello, Johnny. How you doing, man?
Good to see you again. Yeah, good to see you. Hello, Jens.
Bonjour.
You all right?
Comment allez-vous? Bonnet de douche.
We've got no Kev tonight because he's had a storm. There's a storm. What's it called? Storm
Dave.
Storm Dave in Ireland, and it's taken down Wi-Fi, everything. He's in the corner with a log and the matches and something, like trying to keep
Wi-Fi,
lucky
electricity, Wi-Fi, electricity, lights, trees.
His phone is still working, so if you want to say hello in the comment section, Kev can still see it. And Gaza is playing darts tonight. Tuesday night darts.
Tuesday's darts.
The season is starting.
So what's that? 21, yeah.
With Barry.
Yeah, that's 3-1.
Sorry, 26. Sorry. 26. 25 and a 1. Yeah.
Cody says, "Good afternoon, gentlemen," and he uses gentlemen in the loosest possible terms.
Of course. I took a little bit of offence at being called a gentleman. Thank you very much.
I feel a certain amount of pressure here trying to be the hairy one amongst you two baldies there. Although Rez's beard's flying at the moment, isn't it? Jens, I don't think I've ever seen you with a beard. Can you grow a beard?
I can't grow a beard. After 3 days, it turns into complete bum fluff. And yeah,
after 3 days, Cody's is back again, isn't it? It's like,
yeah. Sorry, I'm chewing on Mentos while we.
Did you watch the T. Brian show a few weeks ago? Brian shaved, didn't he? And by the end of the show, he pretty much had a stubble like you, Rez. It's back already.
Yeah. It's almost like the Play-Doh thing from Family Guy, where you go, it just goes down. No.
And while we're doing our introductions, my nephew Leo is watching. So if you want to all say hello to Leo.
Nice to see you, Leo. Coming to Spurs.
Yeah, Leo's a big Tottenham fan. Sonny's his favourite player. Sonny.
Of course.
Yeah. Doesn't
Love
surprise me in the slightest.
Although over the last week, bizarrely, he's taken to pretending to be Ben Davies. He actually went. He was crying and went and sat on the step the other day because he wanted to be Ben Davies. I said, "What about? Do you want to be Lucas Moore?" He's like, "No, I want to be Ben Davies."
Good lad.
Do you want to be Harry Kane? No, I want to be Ben Davies. And he wouldn't come off the step until the dog, who's normally Ben Davies, had agreed to be Reguilón, and then Leo could be Ben Davies.
Brilliant, good point.
Yeah. So they're having Ben Davies loving. The renaissance of Ben Davies is now full. Cody says it's okay. Yeah, it takes all kinds to make up this world. Even you. Do you have to shave your head, Jens, or does it not grow up there at all now?
No, I still do have to shave it every 2 or 3 years. So.
I keep saying to people I'm tempted to shave my head, but then bold people say to me, "No, don't keep it as long as you can."
Yeah, man, go for it. Yeah. If you got it, flaunt it. Seriously.
Yeah. Good point, Cody. It's actually a Ben Asons. The comeback of Ben Davies.
Yes.
Ben Asons.
I thought he was talking about banana sauce. Yeah, sorry.
Anyway.
Is that the time? Taxi!
Yeah. Taxis ends. So first things first, as always, Spurs on this day in history, the little black book. It's not my little black book, but it's the little black book of Spurs.
Why does it say John Martin on it then?
Yeah. Oh, it is actually mine. It's not my little black book as in the Del Boy little black book, Jens. You know.
Oh, it says to John Martin, sorry.
Yeah, it's got my shirt number on there as well. Yeah. Special edition. Okay, so what do we want here? You've got a choice, lads. 1983, 1971 or 2008?
2008.
Wrong answer, Rez. Jens, you might have been there. Monday, the 8th of December, 2008. Ledley King marks his 250th game for Tottenham with a 68th minute goal to open Tottenham's account at West Ham United. King's effort, followed by a period of intense pressure by the Hammers, is enough for the 3 points at Upton Park. Jamie O'Hara makes sure with a second on 90 minutes to make it a happy journey back from East London for 3,000 or so Spurs supporters.
No, I've only been to Upton Park once, and that was with Carl Hoddle and Colin from the British Empire. And yeah, we lost 1-0.
Mr. Britas.
Yeah, wasn't a particularly friendly visit either. But,
Is it ever?
Jens used to go to Spurs with these two guys, and we could never remember their names, but one of them had a bowl cut like Glenn Hoddle's brother in the 80s, didn't he? So we called him Carl Hoddle, and his mate looked like Colin from the British Empire. Would Rez know them from the forums and stuff?
No, I don't think you would have met him. No.
And Jens had a fallout with him at the London Football Masters, didn't you, as well? So the relationship died a death.
No, that was with James. That was with James, but that was. No, I had a fallout. Well, you know the reason.
One that we're not at liberty to go into right now. If we want to stay on air, we better not go into that one.
Let's go into the back room so you can tell us the story, and then we'll be back.
Mate, if we get 100 likes on the stream, we'll tell the story. Jens? There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
If we make it to 200,
welcome on YouTube again.
If we make it to 200 subscribers tonight, Jens will tell the story. There you go. And I'll shave my hair. There we go.
There you go. You know what to do.
There you go, boys.
You know what to do.
Moving swiftly on. So we should first of all pay attention to the most recent game, which is of course the Norwich game. Every time I spell Norwich, I put a H in it, but I have to re-amend it. So it's 3-0. Let's put the team up in the ticker at the bottom there. Hugo, Tangangster, Davies, Dyer, Sanchez, Reggie, Skippy, Højbjerg, Lucas, Sonny and Kane. So we'll start with you then, Rez, and you've got the first topic, Lucas Moura's goal. To talk about that briefly and then flesh it out.
That was a bullet. That was brilliant. So beautiful. It was just sweet as anything. I mean, he struck it pretty much right in front of me, right directly thing. I didn't have to sort of think, and the little bits of skill that he did before it was absolutely gorgeous. Great goal.
Jens?
Yeah.
What do you think of it?
Absolutely brilliant. That was, I think that Sonny's wasn't at the new stadium, was it? No. That's the best goal that I've seen scored at the new stadium.
Sonny's was the Burnley one, the dribble.
That's probably the new stadium.
Yeah.
Sorry. So that's the best one. Yeah. But I think Moura gets too much of a hard time. I think he's not the greatest footballer, but he tries hard, and us as fans kind of appreciate that. Whereas, some of the people who are maybe a little bit more skillful don't try as hard. Not saying any names. Delhi. I think he gets far too much.
Name rhymes with Ongi Fumbombele.
Is that Dean Marnie?
That's the one.
Okay, cool.
Dean Marnie and his fat ass.
I was very happy that he scored that, and also because I predicted it. 1-0 Spurs first half. Moura as the first goal scorer. Also, shout out to my sister. I was watching it around her house, and her laptop is so old and decrepit that it kept cutting out. So we missed the bloody goal, didn't we? The Moura goal. Yeah, we had little dots on the thing, so I was refreshing it. Which one? Which sister?
Lucas Moura's Zoe.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah. So Lucas Moura scored, and then we got our stream back. We didn't notice Rage, and we looked at the scoreboard. It's 1-0. We're like, oh, for Christ! So we missed the goal, and we saw the comments saying what a good goal it was. So we missed the initial impact of, what scorcher it was and stuff. So I missed it because our stream went down. Not happy. There's a hell of a goal.
Zoe, next time I'm back in Amersham.
Great. She was blaming the broadband, but I'm sure it's her laptop. It's my own fault. Oh shit! Only 97 more likes. There. Jesus Christ! We're in trouble, Jens. We're in trouble.
Alan Dude 1, Alan Dude 2. What do you mean Alan Dude 46 is taken?
Oh dear. Jens, we're going down in a blaze of glory. As John Bon Jovi so famously said in Young Guns 2.
Oh dear.
What we'll say that Lucas Moura's was the best goal in the new stadium from outside the box. He can have that one. And Sonny's got the best dribble.
Fair enough.
Definitely.
Yeah. It was great.
What a hit though. You could see it was just. I'm surprised that the net didn't burst. I mean, how hard can that bloke shoot? That was very, very impressive.
For a little guy, he can do some things amazing. Like his jump, his leap is like stratospheric. It's amazing.
Yeah.
When he plays instinctively, he's better, isn't he? When he has to think about it. If he's through and he has time to think about it, that's when he made it. But like the goals against Ajax, he just thought he didn't have time to think about it. He just relied on his feet and his technique, didn't he? Yeah. Not in Christmas week or Santa Claus week. What do they actually call it, Jens? Is it Santa Claus?
It's Sinterklaas.
Is that what Christmas in Dutch? Is it?
Well, that's Santa Claus.
That's Santa Claus.
Yeah, it's Sinterklaas is someone different to the Kerstman, which is Father Christmas.
The Kevsman. The Kevsman. The Kevsman.
The Kevsman, yeah. Who's stuck in a log cabin in Ireland at the moment. Getting battered.
It's a normal house, but he's turned it into a log cabin, isn't he? How ironic that this was going to be the first week of his new feature about being a weatherman, giving us his weather report, and he's been hit by a gale, and he's been taken out completely. We couldn't even spring the surprise on him. So what's Christmas then? What's it called? Is it Christmas in?
It's Christmas. Yeah, Christmas.
Oh,
Christmas. Yeah.
Christmas.
And they still have the 25th and the 26th off. Found out the other day from my manager in France. In France, they don't have the 26th off. So
no Boxing Day celebrations. Nice.
Well, Boxing Day is a specific thing to England, isn't it? Because that's what they used to give boxes out. The rich people used to give boxes out to their servants on the 26th. That's why it's called Boxing Day. So, just a little bit of history.
In Germany, they open their presents on the 24th.
So
Denmark as well.
They do it in Denmark as well. Yeah. I always have to send Happy Christmas to my Danish mates on the 24th. They love it.
You've got mates? Sorry, you've got Danish mates?
I've actually got two Danish mates, haven't I? I've got you and Justin.
Jens. You and Jens.
Yeah. You and Jens, yeah.
My evil twin.
Dave and Jens. Jens 1 and Jens 2. They're both Aaron's email addresses. Moving swiftly on to the second goal then. Davinson Sanchez blasting it home from a corner. We only score from corners. We only score from corners. And what was all that about his celebration? I'll start with you then, Jens. What did you make of Davinson's goal and his celebration?
I think he was just sticking it to the people who've been giving him... No, he's sticking it to the people who've been giving him grief, and I mean he deserves the grief as well.
He does, yeah.
He's not been good.
When you're giving him grief for not scoring goals, we're giving him grief for not defending properly. You can't make up for it. It's like taking a car to a mechanic, right? He screws up your transmission but fixes your spark plugs and then looks at you as if you've done something wrong.
Yeah.
I'd actually tip him. Something like, don't wipe your ass with a broken glass.
Surely he can't analyse his own game and think that he's been playing well when he's been getting sticks, so he's got to expect it somewhat.
I also think it must be pretty stressful when you're getting that amount of grief.
True.
And so that was probably just a little bit of release. Although having seen his misses, I don't think he really needs that. But
actually.
Yeah, she's lovely. Yeah.
I think I'm gonna have to Google this.
But I think I've backed him before. I think I gave up on him a while ago, same as I gave up on Davies. I think there's a player in there, but he just needs to get his head right. Or he doesn't seem to be able to concentrate for the amount of time that a professional footballer needs to.
No.
There's always a brain fart in there. It's like Aurier. Not as bad as Aurier, I'd say.
Maybe it's the missus that's doing it. Maybe he's just thinking about her.
He spotted her in the crowd and he's like,
he might be thinking about Lucas Morris's missus as well.
Yeah.
Or Jan Vertonghen's.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, just for our audience, I don't know if they can see that, but she's a very pretty young lady.
Yes, she is. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Is she Colombian or did you pick her up?
I don't know. I didn't read the biography.
They've got a kid together. I did follow him on.
Yes, they did.
I think it was Twitter or something like that for a while, and then after he had a lot of bad performances, I gave up.
They canned him off. I tend to agree with Brian Daigle on most things, but this unerring support he's got for Davinson Sanchez, I just can't get on board that one. He's got this dream in his head about the Davinson Sanchez renaissance, hasn't he? But I just don't see it at all.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's going to happen.
No.
Long way to go. We don't know. We don't know. Maybe.
Yeah. Maybe. But we've been saying that for a while, haven't we? There's a long way to go.
Yeah, but we haven't had Conte. We haven't had Conte before.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the issue. For me, all of this stuff, it always thinks. I mean, I've made up my mind about Delhi. I've made up my mind about Ndombele.
Speaking of Delhi.
Yeah.
But then again, John had made up his mind about Davies.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
I'm prepared to admit that he's had 7 good games in a row now.
Yeah.
That's like, what's the saying about a swallow making a summer? That's a lot of swallows for Ben Davies, isn't it? 7 swallows.
Too much information, man. Him and Delhi,
one swallow
doesn't make a summer. Yeah, but he's had 7 swallows now, so he's building his own aviary of legendariness.
Well, I don't know if you've seen the swallows fly, but there's loads of them.
Yeah, we've got to admit that Benny Boy's playing well at the moment.
Yeah.
Daddy Davis, that's been doing the rounds again on Twitter today, isn't it? The Daddy Davis clip. Oh, I call you Daddy Davis.
Well, if you have to, I don't mind. That's all right with me. Bren, get a phone number for me.
You is going up the jungle. Sorry.
What's occurring?
So what's Daly actually doing? Just posing, or is he letting off fireworks or trying to stick a bulb in the ceiling again, or what's he up to this time on his Instagram? Who cares? In fact,
I mean,
who cares? Yeah,
Cody,
if he's wearing,
exactly.
If he's wearing red,
does that mean you're growing your beard back?
It's pretty much back in there. I saw him on a stream the other day. It's longer than Rez's already. It's getting on for longer than mine. Yeah. I fell out of love with my chin years ago. I suspect Cody's the same.
It was very weird seeing Cody
from 2 beautiful people to a third. Sunny, back on it. Yes. Purple patch incoming. Son's performance and goal. We'll start with you, Rez.
Yeah, it was good. You know, he was making trouble for the opposition. That goal was lovely to see. I can't bring myself to fault Sonny. If I'm being honest, the sort of the harshest that I can never say to him is that he's out of form, because when he is, because the guy gives his all every time. I've never seen him go missing. He's one of those that I've never seen go missing. Never see sort of like, you know, give up in that sense. He always tries. So, you know, I'm happy that he got a goal. I'm hope he's going to start scoring again. I hope Kane's going to start scoring again. You know, it seems to be coming together. There's going to be rough patches. There's going to be results that go against us. But you know, the long term, there seems to be progress being made. So I expect our 2 really world-class players to once again be world-class, you know. So yeah, good.
He's got his Spidey powers, hasn't he?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's Tom Holland's obsession.
Has he been Spider-Man for a while? Excuse my ignorance, because I don't watch Marvel films. Has he been Spider-Man for a while, or is he just a new one?
He's onto the 3rd movie.
Okay.
As Spider-Man / Peter Parker.
Benny, I must have missed loads of them, because it was the Toby geezer last time I watched
Tobey Maguire, wasn't it?
Yeah.
and there was one after Tobey Maguire as well.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Alex Garfield or Andrew Garfield, one of the other.
We don't care about him because he didn't support Tottenham, as far as we know. We're building up quite a posse here. We've got Adele, Spider-Man, Judge Rinder. He was mincing around that today. Yeah.
He was sat 2 meters. He was sat 2 meters to my right and behind me at the the Leeds game. Yeah.
Nice.
I've never seen his show. What do they do? Do they just get disputes on?
It's silly.
It's silly, is it?
Yeah. He does it very well, though. He sort of plays the part very well. It can be quite funny at times.
We've got a message from Spain. Are you ready? I feel like I should press a button like Eugene. We've got a message from Spain, yeah.
Harry, hello.
It's Alan the cabbie. Hi, boys, from a wet and windy Tenerife. Was really looking forward to joining you boys again, but no idea how to do it on a phone. He was going to join us on Thursday or Friday, whenever we were going to do it, actually. But now he's in. He was telling us he's going to Tenerife. His daughter, isn't he? So he's out in Tenerife. His daughter. If you go, there should be a link pinned in the chat at the top of the chat, Alan. If you are around, I think we're expecting another exciting guest soon, aren't we? As well, Rez. But we'll keep that one.
Yes, absolutely.
Tenderhooks as well. Yeah.
Yes. Yours.
I better quickly knock out a new guest jingle. Yeah. Right. Back to it. Jens, do you want to talk about Sonny, or in fact, did you?
No, I didn't. No, I'd really like to hope that he'll get back on the purple patch, which as Rez said, he thinks that our two world-class players might be coming back. I think Kane's finished. I don't think he's going to get back to what he was. He made a lovely pass, etc. But I'm not saying as finished as in a player, but I think he's finished at Tottenham. I don't think he really is that bothered anymore. Sonny, let's hope so. But I think a lot of Sonny's energy came from Kane as well. So I'm not 100% sure. But I don't think we're going to see the Harry Kane of old. I think he'll be sold out in January, but next summer. I don't think he can be bothered anymore.
We'll move on to that point then. Yeah. So I can insult you basically if you like to read. Harry Kane watch, keep calm and ignore the confirmation bias from the hysterical virgins in our fan base.
Yeah, we didn't have to fucking tell everybody, did you? Jesus Christ. That was a cross I've had to bear since I was.
Come on. He's GR back in after all the 5-6 good seasons. Come on, he's hit a bit of a bad patch, and we know the reasons why. A bit flat from the Euros in the summer, came back late, whether it was his own doing or we don't actually know the true story. It sounds like Man City didn't bid the money for him, so there was never a direct choice for him to leave the club, and people are holding it against him now.
I'm not slagging him off.
Yeah.
I didn't slag Bale off. I didn't slag Modric off. I was very unhappy with Berbatov, but I've forgiven him now. But I think his time's run. I don't think he wants to be here anymore, and I don't think he's putting in the effort that we know that he can. Something has caught his eye, and I think he wants to go. I'm not 100% sure I'm hysterical, but yeah, I'm definitely.
I couldn't have written it better.
And yet, amazingly, he's created a child.
It's an immaculate conception, man.
Conception, man.
It's my wife told me it's true. It's like, the child looks a bit like the milkman or the next door neighbour, but I don't know.
Very apt at this time of year with Kev Claus or whatever you celebrate. Kev Claus and Santa Claus. Kevin his log.
Yeah, Kev, you fucking stay out of Holland, all right, mate? Sorry. Apologies.
Hopefully my nephew's gone to bed by now. It's 25 minutes in, so we should be right.
Should be tucked up in bed, young man.
It should be, yeah. It should be.
Unlike Jens has ever been.
So it's something like bottom, isn't it, Eddie? Oh, Eddie, Richie and Eddie.
I prefer the young ones, if you don't mind.
So we've heard. That's the reason. That's the story we're going to tell if we get to 200 subscribers. Just ruined it now. Aaron, stop setting up the fake accounts. Rez, Harry Kane.
I think Harry Kane is still young enough to return to his higher levels. So I don't think it's a physical thing. Whether or not his head has been permanently turned, I can't say. What I can say is that he is working under one of the best managers in the world. So if he has decided that he wants to check out of Spurs, to be honest, I think he's betraying what he said before due to being mentally fucked over. Yeah, maybe, possibly. But if what he said is true, is that he wanted to, he would be happy to stay if Spurs showed ambition. I think right now, at this point, there's no, until we get to the January transfer window, there is no more ambition that the club can show than hiring Conte. The proof will be in the pudding when we get to January to see whether or not Conte will be given the reinforcements that he deems he needs. But I think the club have definitely gone one step towards showing ambition by hiring this man. And so if he's checked out regardless, then unfortunately, in my mind, that suggests someone who is a mercenary, because that then puts a lie to his idea that he would stay with us as long as we showed ambition. And so having his head turned is a suggestion that someone else will give him what he really wants.
But when he made those decisions, we weren't showing any ambition, were we?
No. And I won't necessarily, you see, if
so
he
the
made
context of it.
Well, that's the point. I mean, the context has changed. So at that point, yeah, fine, you can understand. And I do, in retrospect, I do understand. Yeah, exactly as Cody's just said.
Bloody hell, Cody reads The Guardian. Bloody fucking doll.
You left-wing lovey.
But
who knew?
Yeah, but ultimately,
I had him all down as a son on News of the Well Boy.
He reads those too, Jens. He's a very well-read individual.
Daily Sport, yeah, why not?
Yeah. Yeah, I just think if I can understand in the summer, yeah, if you bring in Nuno Espirito Santo, yeah, you don't read podcasts.
That's how well-read Jens is.
I can't read anyway, so.
We went to the same school, so that doesn't bode well for me.
Well, there you go. So yeah, if he's, I can understand him checking out in the summer, but now that context here, he should be. If what he said is true, he should be back to trying his hardest, trying for the team, trying thing, and hopefully getting back in form again. If he's not, then as far as I'm concerned,
it's difficult to switch it on and off though. So if you're saying he'd given up mentally, now he's trying to build his way back. If you make the analogy with physical, if you couldn't be bothered to play for the team anymore and you started eating burgers for 3 months and you put on loads of weight and it takes you time to get back up. If it takes you time to get back up physically, it's going to take you time to get back mentally as well. And I think you can see the shoots of recovery there, to use a PR buzz talk. I'm sure you appreciate that one, Rez. But he's not. I think he is trying. I don't think he's not trying, which is a bit unfair on people to say he's not trying anymore. But since Conte's coming, I think he has been. You can see him.
Yeah, you can see more effort. You can see more intensity from him. I think.
But it's not the effort we expect.
one thing that's all great goal scorers say, Jimmy Greaves and Gary Lineker said, the way you judge a goal scorer is if he goes missing, if he stops getting into the positions, that's when they're going missing. And Carey's still getting into the positions to miss them, isn't he? So he's still being brave.
How many games, out of interest, do you know? How many games did Lineker go without scoring? How many games did Greaves go without scoring? Did either of them have as big a drought? Well, you can't really call it a drought because he scored those, 7 goals for
England, yeah.
But for their club,
That said, I know where you're coming from with it, Jens. At the same time, we're implementing a new system as well, so he's got to learn that too. And obviously, the great players, great. So I think it's not if he hadn't been out of form, I think he'd have a little bit of a dip while he got used to the system, or if he was out of form and the system hadn't changed, you can sort of it would take time for him to get back into form. I think he might be having to do both, getting himself back into form, up here, and also adapting to a new system. So it might take a little longer than if it was just one or the other that he had to deal with. And that's not me making excuses for him, because ultimately it'll be whether or not he's done it or not in the final analysis. But it's a bit early to tell. I just think that's all.
Conte said in one of his press conferences that he was impressed with Harry. He only has to tell him tactical things once, and he does it straight away. So maybe it's deliberate him dropping deep because then he's got the Son and Moura, running into space. He's dragging out a centre back, and Son and Moura to run into because there's 3 up front now, isn't there? So maybe it's a tactical thing. I'm not going to knock him too hard.
A player like him, you judge him by the goals he scored. By goals that he scored, right? If it continues like this and he doesn't score and he doesn't score and he doesn't assist, then we can turn around and say there is some deeper problem here.
As we said backstage, though, Rez, he had those 2 scorching shots from range, which the keeper did well to tip round. So on another day, he scores 2 30-yarder goals. Yeah, they weren't into Rose Ed like Party for all the watching Gooners. I'm sure there aren't any. He actually cleared the stadium, didn't he, of his shot yesterday?
When you sit in Rosette and the ball hits your head, that's
Zamora.
That's Thomas Partey.
Thomas Partey, yeah. Party, shut up.
Yeah.
Video. How cringeworthy was that video? How cringeworthy was that video they did? It was just a joke. I mean, some of our social media has been a little bit, but that was just...
It was up there with our one that you got caned. You just got caned. Yeah. You just got caned.
Yeah.
Have you not seen that one, Jens? It's fucking brilliant. I'm sure it's good. She's doing it to troll us.
Yeah. Don't watch it because you will want to peel your skin off.
Yeah.
I do most days anyway. I wouldn't worry about it.
Okay. So watch it. It's all right. It's okay.
From a thing of ugliness to a thing of beauty. Skip. And appreciation. Jens, as you just come in your pants, you can go first.
Yeah.
Jens has 2 from that downward.
Yeah, I thought he was great. He was all over the place. I think he's going to be something special if we can keep him on the right track. Let's just put a quarantine between him and Delhi and Galini and all the Instagram boys.
Yeah.
And make sure he seems to have a pretty good head on his shoulders at the moment. What is he, 19, 20?
20.
Okay, 20. Yeah. So, if he can keep his eye on the ball, I don't see why he can't be the next Tottenham captain in a couple of years. 4 or 5 years.
He can be another pyramid.
Mourinho described him as a future Tottenham captain, didn't he?
Yes.
Boyle going to captain Tottenham.
And he seems to, he's not. I always had him down as a defensive midfielder, but he can run with the ball, he can pass.
He had some great surges, didn't he?
I'm not 100% sure I've seen him shoot that much.
He had a shot on Sunday, didn't he? He was keeping sort of.
He had a shot on target, but it was pretty tame. It was just went straight at Krul at a really.
So if he could do that as well, and then maybe add in a little bit of Glenn Hoddle's skill, then why not? Have some of that.
Yeah.
Get some gloves on. He can go and goal as well.
Go and goal as well. Yeah. If he could
Hoddle
just
and
get
Kane did,
Greenwood,
yeah.
if he could get
and if we give him a rake, he could become the groundsman as well. So.
Funnily enough, I was thinking earlier, his energy reminds me of Steve Perryman, actually, doesn't it? Like the all action. Yeah. That's why we love him, because he covers every blade of grass. He gets stuck in.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. Proper battling midfielder.
Yeah.
You know, it's all about getting the ball and using it for him. He has been getting better and better almost every game. Yeah. And at that age, with all the development that's still ahead of him, and he's already at that level. I'm not saying he's the best midfielder in the country. Far from it. He's still a work in progress. Mm-hmm. But the fact is, his level is already at that point, you know, at that age. And if he's got the potential and he's got developing,
just got to keep the focus. We've seen so many players at that age fall away because they just, you know, they lose their focus. They get
got to go down the Harry Kane path rather than the Dele path.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. You know,
and let's hope that he has some people advising him who are a little bit more intelligent than the people who are advising Dele.
Yeah.
I think Harry was lucky somewhat that he married his childhood sweetheart, didn't he? So he didn't have a gold digger leeching off of him when he became famous. So he genuinely, and I think Skipp's got a girlfriend, hasn't he? Because when there's those rumours of him going back to Norwich in the summer, there's a picture of him, picture with him with a young lady. Hopefully that's someone that's grown up with him and come through the ranks with him as well.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. No,
I'm surprised that Jordan hasn't tried to get a clause into him yet.
Yeah, I was thinking that the new Jordan. It's hard to argue with there, Cody. I've been on the Skip train all season.
Yeah,
and I think it's me and you on Twitter, Cody, just slamming people that were slagging off Skip. Like it was only 3 games ago, wasn't it? People were saying, "Oh, Skip's just another Winks." That's
the same as Højbjerg, isn't it?
Yeah.
People slagging off Højbjerg. I'm sorry, but they can all go fuck themselves.
Yeah,
that's just
Skip is better.
Bollocks.
Skip is better than Winks was at Skip's age.
Yeah,
right. So this idea that he's another Skip and another Winks is ridiculous. He's already surpassed Winks, right? At that age, he's already better than Winks was then. He's better than Winks is now.
Yeah,
no way. That it is all for this guy. The sky is the limit. If he is surrounded by the right people, keeps his focus on his career, does what Harry Kane did, and works his ass off, because Kane has natural talent, but it's not his natural talent that is Kane's greatest asset. Kane's greatest asset has been his hard work and dedication to his career. That is what has propelled him to the top of the game, not his natural talent. And it's the same with Skip. It will be the hard work that pushes him thing. If he goes down that path of Insta and social media and fashion lines and putting fucking worms in his head, forget it, right? If he goes down the Harry Kane, dedicated, professional, eye on the ball, the sky is the limit for that boy.
Yeah, let's hope he sort of follows the Hugo and the Harry side, the professionalism.
Yeah, let's hope he's not going to be another Tom Carroll. Because we all had high hopes for Tom Carroll.
Yeah, we did.
Didn't we?
He's a good football player. He was until this summer. I think he signed for QPR. He was a free agent for ages.
Yeah,
so far he fell down the ranks.
He was at Swansea before that, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Even looking back, Skip is better than Tom Carroll was at Skip.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So yeah.
Different types of players. Speaking of our Alan's comment there about Glenn Hoddle, the new documentary on Glenn Hoddle airs tonight, doesn't it, Alan, on BT Sport after the Champions League game? So I have to tune in and watch that later. I sent you.
In case anyone's interested, Man City lost to Leipzig.
Yeah, they're already through though, aren't they?
Yeah, I know.
2 scummy clubs out it. Red Bull aren't very well liked in Germany because they're a franchise club as well. The Red Bull factory.
And Ajax are 1-0 up against Sporting Lisbon.
Oh, lovely.
Ajax, Rodney. Ajax
are good. Ajax.
Sue's watching it.
No, I'm not sure what she's watching. But, I think one of the royal family is 18 today or something like that. So she's watching something to do with that.
Ajax are great. Ajax are a great club. A lot of time for Ajax.
Yeah, they don't think that about us, funnily enough.
Do they not? Too much red in there.
They don't
No,
like
they
red
do. They do. It's just one result. Come on. It was just one result.
Yeah, but come on, man. I live in the fucking country.
That's true.
I don't hear anything very positive about Tottenham when I'm over here.
It's probably still quite raw. It's probably still quite raw. We've had a long relationship with Ajax, you know, and
we keep nicking their best players.
Yeah, our Dutch enemy is Feyenoord. So, you know, we relate to them. I think they just saw, and I can understand why. It was heartbreaking. They were that close to going through.
Yes,
you know? So, yeah.
They did pull our pants down over Davinson Sanchez, didn't they? So they deserved a bit of payback for that.
Great side. No, listen, great club. Lot of time for Ajax. You know, they do things properly. They run things properly. You know, they play good football. And
they coined the term total footballer, players that can play in any position.
Yes, in any position, absolutely.
And speaking of total footballers, you'll see what I've done here. Ben Davis. It leads me on nicely to Ben Davis, the next discussion point.
Welsh god.
Yeah.
Is that too much?
The Welsh Maldini.
No. He's he's doing well. He's doing well.
I'm happy for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
I am happy for him because I always thought he's a hard-working pro, and he makes he made a lot of mistakes. I don't think left back. Well, you know, LJ, I used to defend him, and then I can't remember which game it was. I gave up on it. And now, I'm happy for the guy. I think he's a nice bloke. I think he's hardworking, you don't always have to be flashy or able to do keep me ups to be able to play well. But the thing that really surprises me about him is that you see that we're attacking, and then all of a sudden you see Ben Davis like doing a Usain Bolt down the middle of the pitch to get involved in the attacking. And it's like
against Brentford in the 90th minute, he was bombing on, wasn't he? Like chasing the loose balls to try and cross it. And they were saying if he'd have kept it in and they'd have broken away, I don't think Conte would have been best impressed with that. But he looked like he had a bit of got up ahead of a storm as well.
But I was kind of hoping that goal was going to be his against Brentford. Because I thought it was, but that was.
That would have been 2-2 for the Welsh Maldini, wouldn't it? Because he scored for Wales as well.
Yes,
he's on fire.
Yeah,
I've always said it. He's a hard worker, never complains. He's never in the media, right? There's never sort of rumors about him causing trouble. He's always had his head down. Even when he was brought in, you know, he knew he was understudy to Rose, and he accepted it. And he went with it, and he's now understudy to, or he was, you know, at the left back berth. He was understudy to Reggie. You know, he's never caused problems. He has been a consummate professional, and for me, that is credit to him. And he shouldn't be attacked, in my view, if he has a bad game, because that's just ability, and he can't do anything about that. He either has it or he doesn't. But he always works hard, always does the most that he can. Now he's been put in a position where he's much more effective, and that hard work and that dedication and that consummate professionalism is paying dividends for him. You know, I don't like it when we slag players off who can't be world class. It's not their fault, right? If they're bad players, it's like Davinson Sanchez. I don't have a go at him because he can't play. You know, I don't have a go at him.
Player.
Yeah, I just think he's not. I just think we need an upgrade on him, maybe, right? Yeah. And I think the same. And I thought the same of Davis. But the players that I slag off are the likes of Dele, who don't try. The likes of Ndombele, who has probably got twice the talent, the footballing talent that Ben Davis does, right? The world is his oyster, and he doesn't try. And it's now been summer after summer after summer where there is some story about him. How many stories about Ben Davis's situation have we had in the papers ever?
Yeah.
Not even one, right? And yet this guy, with all the talent in the world, doesn't want to try. That's what pisses me off. That's why I condemn the likes of Ndombele, the likes of Dele, because they've got talent and they don't use it. You know?
Yeah. It's the greatest crime, isn't it? To people like us that love to play football and they're much more talented than us, and they're just not using it to the I get called lazy as well. I can't say that as much as I try. Everyone calls me lazy.
The difference is, Johnny, you might not be doing a job that you love doing. Yeah. Most professional footballers love the job that they do.
Play football,
right. I work as an administrator. I didn't grow up saying one day I hope to be an administrator.
Didn't you? I did.
Yeah, well, there you go, Jens. We should swap jobs, mate.
Well, I work in facilities.
Sometimes if you find something easy, you become complacent. I think that's the problem. With them
and as you said, that's the sin, because other people are supporting your lifestyle, not you, Johnny. Them, yeah. Other people are supporting your lifestyle, so you.
I'm not sure. Johnny's pretty popular with the ladies.
The problem is with him that he thinks he knows better than 4 world-class managers now, doesn't he? Oh, I'm not gonna. I don't need to run. I play football the way I play football, and he's had Mourinho, Conte, Pochettino, not Nuno, telling him that he's not doing things right, and he refuses to listen, doesn't he? So it's a sign of stubbornness.
Yeah. Who is he to gainsay the likes of Antonio Conte?
Yeah.
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet.
Shut up.
Oh, thank you. Oh, she sounds sexy, Rez. Who's that? Is that your missus?
That's Alexa.
Okay, sorry.
My wife doesn't need to connect to the
internet. Mine used to, but then I had to blow her up first. But,
it's like that stove to USB cable I was talking about earlier. Stove to laptop USB cable.
Yeah,
we want to get that for what's it called, for Kev.
From the log.
Is that Alan? Because you wanted to say you'll never guess who I had in my cab last week.
That Geza. He was drinking vodka at 4:00 in the afternoon.
Dribbling on my microphone.
Speaking of microphones, see if I can link between that one to this one.
Oh yes, we do this very well.
Eric Dyer, between a rock and a large face. Boom. My point being there, he's been a rock at the back and he's got a big head, but I couldn't.
Yes,
the pun didn't work with it. Yeah,
no,
pun didn't work. Yeah,
we did get it.
And Eric Dyer, his performance this season. If you thought of one player who hasn't let us down all season and who's consistently been one of our better players, I think you'd have an argument against Eric Dyer, wouldn't you, this season?
I'd go Hugo Lloris before Eric Dyer, but no, he has been brilliant. He's been really good, and for his turning time of the Titanic, and how he's not the most mobile person. I'm kind of amazed that he went. Do you remember when he first came? He was a right back. And
he played right back, didn't he?
Yeah, he played it right back, and his debut he scored against the Spammers, didn't he? And he could really move then. I don't think he can so much now, but he seems to have got.
He's bulked up since then.
Yeah, he's more intelligent. When they used to
have those polls on Soccer AM, the little who's the fastest player, a lot of them used to say you'd be surprised, but Eric Dyer is really quick. Yeah, honestly, like all of them, like 2 or 3 of them said it because everyone was saying it really, but they're like, when he gets going, he's really quick.
Yeah. And then when he gets going, after like 50 meters.
Yeah.
It's like the Tesla having a 0 to 60 of 2 seconds from a rolling start. Yeah. Okay. True. Look it up.
I've been impressed. I have been impressed with Mr. Dyer.
Yeah, I think so too. He's been solid. He's been solid, and you can with 3 at the back under Conte, if we have Romero, back fit at some point, we've got a solid foundation on which to build a good defense. And it might be that, it was never the number one priority anyway, but it can be slightly deprioritized in favor of sorting out our midfield creativity problems. When he needs to run to the loo, yeah, absolutely. So yeah,
Chris, you're right.
he was very he's been pretty good. He's been pretty good. I'm liking the fact that he doesn't give me palpitations now when players run at our defense, or not as much as he used to. It used to be heart and mouth time when players were running at our defense, and I could see why. What Mourinho used to do was to try and push the ball out to the sides, just sort of solid up that middle, push it out to the sides, and that gave him a bit more protection. That still didn't help. But now this season, even though he's probably been more exposed now to balls through the middle, he's actually been a lot better.
It's not rocket science. Conte said something really interesting in his press conference the other day. He doesn't believe in lying to the players. So if he's got a problem with one-on-one defending, he makes them train on one-on-one defending to try and improve them. If someone's got a shit right foot, he trains them on their right foot. He doesn't hide away. He doesn't try and protect the team to keep them away from his right foot. He puts the individual responsibility on the player to make sure he gets a better right foot. So maybe they've been training with Eric Dyer on some of his perceived weaknesses. You can ask Eric what your weaknesses are, and then they design a training plan. Like the player's saying, he doesn't leave any stone unturned. It's all individual details. So little things like that. Maybe he says to them, what areas you think you need to improve. He's also got people like Ryan Mason there who've been watching him for the last couple of seasons, and they can say, I think he needs to work on this, and they sort of involve the player in the process and work on them. That's what Conte says, making the player better as an individual and then to serve the team. But he's been really impressive. I've been impressed with his passing as well. His long passing into those channels for the wing backs. Yeah, he hit a beautiful one the other day, like in between the centre backs around the back of the full back. Speaking of the wing backs, I've only bloody gone and done it again, haven't I?
There we go.
Sessegnon.
Yeah.
I was saying to my brother yesterday, I think it was a perfect storm, him coming on the other day, because he didn't have time to get worked up and nervous, did he? He was like, there's an injury, right, get your kit on, you're on, and he didn't. He was straight into the action, and as a result, he had a really good game, didn't he? I thought it was his strongest game for us.
I'm gonna put a little conspiracy theory out now.
Go on.
Reggie has been on Twitter saying it's not that bad. I'll be back soon. I would not put it past Conte to have done that deliberately. To have said to Reggie, if you take a knock at some point, make out as if you can't carry on so I can bring Cess on. I can see him doing that. I'm not saying he did, but I can see him doing that because Cess was warming up in front of us minutes before he came on.
Yeah.
Right? I don't think he might not have told Ryan Sessegnon.
Yeah.
But he might have. It's possible. I know it's the waste of a substitution and it's risky. And whether or not that's something that Conte would do, I don't know. But I can see it to have been something he did because it was just it was the perfect tonic for what happened to Ryan, to Sessegnon against, what's it called? Not Vitesse, Mora.
Mora, yeah.
It was the perfect tonic. We were at home, weak opposition. Is it a risk that you can take to try and get a player that you have identified, and it's been publicly known that he's identified Ryan Sessegnon as a potential someone that he can potentially, develop into a much better player? Was it something that he could have done? I can see it happening. I don't say it did, but I can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but as you say, I think it's a bit of a if you want to pick someone up, then you start them, don't you? So it's a bit risky.
It's mentally that Jens, if he keeps getting himself too worked up and he panics and he's too nervous
but it's also a bit risky to do that as use one of your substitutions if someone gets injured.
Absolutely, yeah. I know.
But then again, he's a complete nutcase, Conte is, so I probably agree with you.
If you're going to do it against the bottom team in the league,
do it against. I mean, if it had happened against, say, Liverpool and Man United, I would have said, he's injured. There's no way that he would take that kind of risk against really strong opposition. But against Norwich, I can sort of see how it might have been. It's just the fact that he was warming up just before, and it was like when Reggie went down, the people around me, we were talking about it, and it was basically they saw that Ryan was running back towards the dugout,
Was that on your side or?
He was on my side. Yeah, they warmed up on my side. He was right in front of me, warming up basically. Okay. So it was like he ran back towards the dugout, and people were saying, "Is he still warming up?" And it's like, no, he's coming on. You know, because Reggie was down on the thing, and then it was called. So you know,
of course, he's suspended, isn't he, on Thursday? So Reggie might have having to play on Thursday. You know, you might be right there.
He's injured, isn't he?
But the injury apparently.
No,
the injury
on Instagram.
bad, apparently it wasn't anything major from his own thing. The tweet that he tweeted was, "Don't worry, Spurs fans, I'll be back soon." You know, there's not that serious. I'll be back.
Don't take me out of your fantasy.
Don't you think we're going to be playing the under-23s on Thursday with this whole issue that's going on at the moment?
Oh, with the coronavirus.
No, they'll test him again today and they'll be fine. Look at Sonny. We needed him for Everton and we just kept testing him until he came back negative, didn't we? There's nothing wrong with him, is there? They just picked up a test. They'll be fine. Perfectly healthy athletes. Just red tape, isn't it? Yeah, exactly. There'll be false positives and they will be all right. UEFA won't let us postpone it or anything.
Ooh.
And we want to play Brighton as well because they've got 8 players out injured at the moment, haven't they?
Yeah, but if we've got 7 players out, then
depends who they are. You'll find
we've
out.
We've got a not special guest coming soon.
Not so special guest.
Well, he's not special because he's been on before.
You're not special. He's
not even a guest. He's one of us.
Go on then. Hopefully, where are they? They're not in the back room, yeah. Anyway, I've got to go and write a jingle quickly.
No, you don't need to. Not for them. Would you write a jingle for one of us?
No, good God, no.
No. So you won't be writing a jingle for this. This is Nick. He's just got back home, so I just sent them.
Barry from EastEnders.
Yeah.
Brilliant. I've got a question for
so when he comes
Mustang Sally.
Mustang Sally. You do love me, don't you, Janine?
Come on, Pat, you're treading on my foot.
When he comes on, we should all just go doom, 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 doom,
Hey.
You do love me, don't you, Janine?
Oh dear.
Jens, what did you think of Sessegnon?
I can't really recall that he did an awful lot. I don't see that he did anything.
New guest incoming. The bearded Barry from EastEnders. You're like fucking Maradona in the 1982 World Cup now. I've never seen you with a beard before.
Oh, dear.
You right, Nick?
Yeah, I'm good, boys. I'm good. Sorry, I missed my other phone has been dead all day, and I just saw that. I just checked Facebook and popped up, and so I'm here. Better late than never.
You're just in time to hear Jens's thoughts on Ryan Sessegnon's impressive cameo from the bench.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't really have any. I don't really recall him doing an awful lot.
Pass on the comment to you about Ryan Sessegnon.
Be a good idea.
What were your thoughts on Ryan Sessegnon?
Well, I don't know where have we got to in the grand scheme of things. We're on to. We've obviously spoken about the Brentford game.
We just covered
we just
Norwich
game.
Yeah.
Just the Norwich game. So yeah, I mean, I guess my thoughts were that I was worried when Reggie went off. Sorry, I just need to shut the door. I'm just being a bit loud. I was worried when Reggie went off. I think we all were. But I thought, do you know what? He gave a good account of himself. I wouldn't say there's anything like Jens says. There wasn't anything to kind of write home about or anything else. But he deputised in there. You know, he made a few runs, and you know, it wasn't. You know, it wasn't. I guess the performance. He had a lot to prove. He was trying to get stuck in. He was. You know, he obviously knew what he'd done against Mura was not great, and I think he realizes that he's still got that chance to kind of impress and kind of almost be that kind of backup and to Reggie, because we've seen that Conte wants Reggie to go forward. You've seen that, or we've seen in the last two games at least, that you know him bombing on forward and having chances has made a massive impact and has made a lot of space in in for Sonny and for Kane and for the Welsh Messi to get forward and ply his trade up right at the top of the pitch. So I think nothing I would say to write home about, but it was kind of a solid and a decent performance, really.
Like we said with Lucas Moura earlier, Rez, I think he was playing more instinctively, wasn't he? Maybe that's one thing that Conte's discussed with him. So he wasn't overthinking it. He was getting into positions and just hitting the first time cross, wasn't he? And he hit some good ones. Then after the first one's got in, you're like, oh, I can cross in the Premier League. It's not a completely different ball.
It was a solid, dependable performance.
Which is what you want from wing backs.
Which is what you want, yeah. Well, no, it's what you want from every player. You want to be able to rely on them to deliver the basics, and then you try and get them to do better and better. So, for a guy coming in, playing for the first time proper, the second time under this manager, after a really, really, I mean, it was a shocking decision to send him off. Let's put it that way. It was just way too much. The fact that those yellow cards, one of them shouldn't have been shown. The first yellow shouldn't have been shown, in my view, against Sessegnon. It was just 50-50. But ultimately, he had a bad experience. He's young. It's going to affect him. To be able to come on, have a decent game, doesn't have to be spectacular, just something decent, just to calm the nerves, just to say, yeah, I can do this. And then you build from there, work in progress.
And I think all of them really now are, the guys that were coming in and playing or came on as subs, there wasn't that nervousness about, they were thinking, oh Christ, if I do this or if I make a mistake, the crowd's going to be on my back or anything else. And it seems to be, there seems to be that more assurance, and he's Conte's obviously instilled in them that, Christ, if we were, we were looking at it 3 weeks ago and, minus double digits in goal difference. We've got the best home record in the Premiership out of all the clubs, and considering we lost to Man U, we lost to Chelsea, we've won all the other games.
Yeah.
So it's
not that it's impressed Needham at all. Coming, is he, for like 4 or 5 games?
Well, he can stay off.
Yeah,
he can stay away if that's the way that we're going to play. I mean,
Needham's
look, I don't know. Obviously, I don't know where we got to at the start. I mean, look, we were against better teams. Against the likes of Liverpool, we could have been 2 or 3-0 down, right? Because they had enough chances at the start to, which they probably should have buried. But they didn't, and again, it was kind of a very. Norwich were probably playing like we were playing a few games ago. We had the chances that we should have buried and we didn't. And obviously they've got a new manager and they're trying to find their way. And I thought that probably we never, looking at the games when we've played Norwich before, we've not played that well. And to start, Moura's goal was insane.
Well, that FA Cup.
That FA Cup game, that FA Cup replay, and we should have wiped the floor with them. And they came and it was their cup final, and then they obviously got relegated and what have you, and else happened. But I think if you look at just the game as a whole, obviously there's the talk of Sanchez being off, which is why there was no celebration. So he kind of just hit the goal and just was like, he's kind of resigned to us signing another centre back, and he'll be off. In terms of the performance, in terms of the formation that we're playing, I definitely feel it kind of goes back to that exciting level of football that we had under Poch, and for me, Reggie, Skippy have just come on leaps and bounds. I mean, that tackle that Skippy did where he slid 10 yards and then flicked it back to another player was just absolutely insane. And he's almost overshadowing Højbjerg at the moment, if I'm honest.
He is. Not almost. He is.
Yeah, and it just shows that obviously Lucas had his 2 out of 6 game. That was his 2 out of 6 game. So let's see what happens at the weekend. But obviously, we don't know what's happening with COVID and everything else that's going on or not going on. So I think it's I'm. I thought in another Harry Kane last year would have buried that chip over Krul. And then obviously he had the shot that led to the corner that Sanchez scored from, and I thought that was going to go in. And I think, he just needs a goal. Sonny's obviously firing now. He seems to have that telepathic kind of, sixth sense with Reggie down the left. And I think Kane just needs a goal now. And I think then all will be, we go into January. And then we see what happens. But I think the big test will obviously be Liverpool. I mean, obviously Brighton. We never really play well at Brighton. But they're in a bit of a bad situation. So, and I guess like we said a few weeks ago, that all the games that we've got coming up before Liverpool are winnable, and Liverpool will be the test, and that'll see how far we've come. But
and how far we've still to go.
Yeah, well. Absolutely. Because I think the last. We were talking about it, I think, Rez, on Sunday when I was saying we were looking at Kane and how fitter he looks. And it seems weird because they're footballers, right? And they're all fit. But to actually physically see him being fitter.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fitting. Poch fit was always the thing, wasn't it? And Conte fit's also the same within football.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is that it's all footballers, even Tanguy and Ndombele, are very fit people, right? Compared to us plebs, right?
Speak for yourself.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Okay, Rez. Apart from me and Rez, yeah. Okay.
Apart from me and Nick, right? But the sort of difference between an unfit footballer or sort of a footballer that is baseline, hasn't got that peak fitness, is pretty minimal. But it's that minimal amount that makes all the difference when they play each other, right? Because these players, they run with real intensity all the time, sprinting and running. It's not, 11 kilometers is an average amount for a player to run in a match. So that takes a lot of fitness. But being able to do that little bit more is where it's that cream. And that's what Conte is going to give us. They would have been very fit people under, say, Mourinho, who didn't do much fitness. But compared to their opposition, they were very, very unfit. Compared to humanity in general, they're still incredibly fit. It's that little bit at the top that we need from Conte. And that's what I'm hoping he's bringing us.
Absolutely. I said to Rez backstage that I'm watching All or Nothing Juventus at the moment, and Perle made a comment that the players were moaning about how tough pre-season was, and he turned to his assistant manager and he said, "These boys would never have survived under Conte. We had players throwing up and just passing out there because he worked them that hard." And they're Italian players, how fit traditionally Italian players were. So Conte fitness is a whole different ball game. But
isn't that what you demand from your team as well, John?
I don't do warm up most of the time these days. Having a piss in the bushes and a cigarette and
throwing up from a hangover.
Turn up 5 minutes before the game,
Johnny, I think my electrolyte levels are low. Oh, just have a beer, you'll be fine.
Have a Lucozade.
That's a special training regime to give them Lucozade.
Have a Lucozade. Water or a Lucozade if they're very special. That's actually one of the previous talking points. I was going to skip over it, but as we're talking about it, do you think the upturn in our form has been down to the improved fitness at the moment? Just initially, we can see the players pressing from the front again, and obviously there's a plan, there's a tactical plan, and there's a positional plan now in place now. So just putting those things in place has helped us a lot, hasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think what we've noticed, I don't know whether the others have noticed it, but from the Leeds game to the Brentford game to the Norwich game, there was less and less noise from the crowd about pressing and attacking, and it's because they all now know that they've got their roles, and you could see the game on Thursday night, and me and Gaza were kind of having a bit of a Conte watch at points, and they were looking to him at corners, looking to him there, and he was making sure that everyone was in the right places. And I think they, that will come in the, where they don't need to do that. But ultimately, he he's more tactically aware of the player's ability, and the players are almost have that confidence of the person standing next to them and the person standing in front of them or behind them will do their job, because they don't have to worry that, oh, the ball goes over the top, who's going to be, they're not making rash tackles, they're not diving in, they're not, if the ball is played over the top, so that even to the point where, Big Dave was a little bit better on Sunday than he wasn't during the week, but they all seem to, they're eventually going to be at the point where they know what their role is and they won't need to have that. But Conte, when you see it, even to the point where he's saying that's enough now, that's enough pressing. They're getting to the point where they're kind of understanding when's the time to turn it on and when's the time not to.
I have to say, I noticed against Norwich, maybe I'm not 100% sure if I'm watching the game as closely as I have been before, but Reguilón, his running against Norwich, his sprinting against Norwich was absolutely spot on. He was, he looked like Linford Christie running down that left-hand side. I thought he was absolutely brilliant before he came off. And even Tanganga, who I don't really class as a fast player, he was. I thought he.
Well,
they
he
all
went on
seemed
that,
to be. Sorry,
he went on that lung burster, didn't he?
Yes.
Towards the end of the game, with the ball at his feet. So
you wouldn't really see that under Nuno, or especially not under Mourinho.
No, he did also fall over in the area looking for a very soft penalty.
Yes, yeah, of course. So but I mean, ultimately, he's when you're not really a goal scorer, that's all you can do is try and win your penalty.
So there's the flip side of the coin to that, which leads us on to our next point, the Conte effect. You've heard in the press, didn't you, Levy saying that he believes in this group of players, and he thinks with a good manager that you can knock them into shape without too much investment. Do we run the risk of Conte doing so well with squeezing the last life out of them that Levy might start thinking, oh, I was right, there is a good squad there and I don't need to invest as much?
If he does, then Conte is going to walk.
Yeah.
There's obviously been some promises made by Levy to Conte, because Conte's a winner. He wants to win things. Yeah. He's not going to come in. Well, he's obviously looked at the squad and thought, well, we need to improve there. We need to improve here. And Levy or Lewis, apparently, I know this is all paper talk, but Lewis has had a word in Levy's ear and said, you need to sort this out. We were a Champions League team a couple of seasons ago, and it's really gone badly now. And you're affecting my investment.
Yeah, you have fucked it up. If I was Lewis and I was saying that to Levy, I would say we were a Champions League club and you fucked it up.
Yeah. Do you want to take the next point then, Rez, on screen? Was it important for Conte to see the backup players' true colours against Mura?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that really is the only positive from the Mura game, that it was laid bare for Conte which players he can rely on and which ones he can't. Right? I think there are still question marks over one or two of them.
Yeah, well, right? Sanchez. Sanchez was terrible.
Yeah.
And he still picked
for both goals.
Yeah. But, and I'm going to say this, and people are going to go nuts when I say this. For me, there is even now a question mark over Matt Doherty rather than a big cross, right?
Yeah, really?
Whereas before it was a massive cross over his head. Okay. Even now, just from what I saw against Norwich, he's managed to turn that into a question mark, right? But they're few and far between. Most of those players are either now a tick or a cross. Amongst them, the crosses, Dele and Ndombele, right?
Lo Celso, do you think? Or is he still injured?
Well, I don't think he's seen him. I don't think he's seen enough of him.
Yeah. Will we ever see him?
I don't know. This is the question with Lo Celso. This is the problem. Lo Celso can play. We know he can play. He's played for Argentina. But with Lo Celso, it might be because he's that type of player that only plays in a particular way and can't play differently.
He hasn't got a role in Conte's system, has he, at all?
Exactly.
He's not one of the two centre midfielders, and he's not going to be one of the quick guys around Harry, is he? So
exactly.
He hasn't got
You don't think he could be one of the two central midfielders?
We don't know. Maybe he might be. He might.
Yeah,
be.
he's tough tackling, and he's also got skill. So there's a possibility that maybe they could rotate the three of them, Højbjerg and Skipp and him. But yeah, maybe they want to have an upgrade as well. I don't know.
Like at the end against Norwich, when he put an extra midfielder on, then he to go three in midfield. He could maybe fulfil that role.
Yeah. But that's the point: is that the issue when it comes to Levy and buying. Levy has today is the what day is it? It's the 7th day, right? There's 24 days left in December. There's 31 days in January. He has 55 days left to either understand that a football club, not just Spurs, a football club, when it comes to the playing squad, it is a black hole into which money disappears. Accept that and act accordingly. If he does not understand that within the next 55 days, the fan base is going to explode, right? It's not a case of, oh, we have to have big money signings. It is a case of when we need signings, we go out and get them.
Even if it's backup.
Outgoings as well.
Even if it's backup.
And outgoings as well.
If you identify someone as a bad egg or someone who's bad around the place, don't have them hanging around because you want an extra million for him.
And also not waiting until the end of January. It needs to get done early.
Yeah.
Go out with the intention and say, right, January the 1st, the transfer window's open. We know we need a defender, we know we need a fielder, and we know we need a striker. Go out and get all three. Get it done in the first week. Yeah. You've got 3 weeks left. You've got an international break. You've got everything kind of to do it and go and get it done early. Not wait 5 to bloody 11 on the 31st of January.
Just because you want to shave a couple of million off the thing,
unless it's going to be Van der Vaart.
Yeah.
But the other thing we need to do, the other thing he's got to sort out is he needs to sort out Lloris as well, because
we'll get onto that in a minute. We'll do it now.
There's still this noise around Pickford. And I just, there's a lot that needs to be sorted out, and there's games that are going to be coming. There's the games we know are coming thick and fast, right? So, if I'm honest, I wouldn't be overly upset if we didn't qualify in the Europa Champions Conference League shit, whatever we're playing in, because actually that would give us more chance in the other competitions, which kind of mean more. But we need to, for Hugo, that needs to be sorted out first, if I'm honest, and that needs to be sorted out in the next few weeks, because we know that in January he can talk to other clubs, and we know it's probably going to be PSG, so he goes back to France.
Can I just address one thing about what you just said, Jens, with regard that sort of last minute deal for Van der Vaart? At the time we got Van der Vaart, we didn't have a Van der Vaart shaped hole in our squad that he would then fill. It really was just serendipity. Someone says, do you want Van der Vaart? And Daniel Levy felt, I can get him, so let me go get him. It wasn't something that it wasn't a player that we necessarily needed. I'm glad we got him. He was wonderful for the time that he was with us, and he really gave us great goals, propelled us forward, gave us great moments. But the difference is that right now, with Levy, it has to be a case of, if there are holes in the squad, they need filling, not waiting until the last minute
to see what deals come up here.
To be honest, we didn't have anyone like Van der Vaart.
No, that's
in the team at the time. I know that's what I mean. To sign someone like that was kind of groundbreaking. It doesn't matter if there's a hole in the squad that needs filling. If you get a player like that offered to you, you sign him.
But I'm contrasting. No, but I'm contrasting it with the way that the squad is now. Yeah. At that time, the squad was probably in better overall shape, not necessarily in terms of ability, but in terms of what we needed for an effective squad was probably much better balanced than what we've got right now. So getting Van der Vaart, it wasn't a priority for us. Right now, there are very, very major priorities that we need to address. And we can't do that by doing what we did with Van der Vaart, which is just when the deal appeared, we go and grab him. You know, it's like it's like going to Sainsbury's. It's like doing your weekly shop at Sainsbury's or something like that, but only going right at the end of the day and picking from what's on the reduced aisle, right? You're not necessarily going to get your milk, your bread, your butter, the things that your essentials. You might pick up a Christmas pudding for £4, whereas usually it costs £7 or whatever. But you don't need a Christmas pudding. You need bread, milk, and cheese, you know, and eggs and stuff. And that's the thing. We have got to put this idea of the reduced shelf just to get something exciting, because we need milk and bread. And
but you say that, but what's stopping us? And you know, we've spoken about this before. Why are we not going out and spending 10 million and getting Lingard as an example? You know,
yeah. I mean,
but where's he going to play in a Conte team? He's like Lo Celso. He doesn't fit in a Conte team, I don't think.
That may well be an answer, but I see the point that Nick's making is, like, you know, if there are good players out there that, you know, we can get for a song, why are we also not targeting them? And I think that comes back to the way that the scouting network and the way in which we recruit has just been allowed to wither so badly.
I also think that Lingard is another Dele Alli if he gets into the same environment that Dele Alli is in. Because have you seen some of the crap that he posts up on?
Yeah, no, totally. But if we're talking about someone to take, you know, if we think about Moura and replacing, you know, there's no reason why Lingard couldn't play in the similar position as what Moura does.
You think that Lingard's better than Moura?
No, I don't think he is. But we're going to need. We can't have. He's better than what we've got on the bench, if that makes sense. And Moura can't. And Moura won't be able to play, you know, like he has been with all these games that are coming up. We're going to need to replace him, and the option is going to be either, you know, you either switch Sonny over to the right and put Bergwijn in, although he looks like he's one of the names that will be off in January as well, if we're reading what we're reading. Then you stick Lo Celso on the left, but actually then, you know, so it's kind of like you say, where you could almost have almost like a perfect thing in January where Lo Celso's fit. It's almost like signing a new player without signing a new player. And how does he fit in? We probably don't know, because we like at the moment, no one's really moving Skippy and Højbjerg in midfield, and you just think, well, how are you gonna replace them? You take one of them out, and you've seen what happens. It kind of, the defense has that crumble, but we need to kind of find a solution. There needs to almost be, we've found where we are now with the formation and the wing backs and everything else. We almost need that January position to have that plan B, that we can change the formation and everyone knows then what their role is. And maybe that is then the stage where Lo Celso fits in, or a Lingard type fits in, and everything else, because we still don't know what you know, the Harry Kane message, and it will start rearing its ugly head of, you know, I'm here for the summer, and whether there was a deal done and City said we can't do it in the summer, but we'll do it in January. I mean, I think there'll be, you know, we know he's a goal scorer, and we know probably, you know, if he did go in January, then he'll score a shed load of goals because he'll have the service. But, you know, we've still got that question. So there's, again, like you say, there's these 55 days, but there's the Hugo piece, there's the Kane piece, there's the three players that we need. Yeah. And like Alan's just said, I don't really think we need to spend big. We know we need a midfielder. And the only reason I'm saying Lingard is that Man U won't want to lose him for free. He's not playing so much, but also he's got that experience. We saw what happened when he went to West Ham last season in January. So that's almost like a Levy signing, because it's 10 million and it's not a lot of money in terms of what would happen and the potential impact. And then we go out and we spend big on a striker. Then we go out and spend big on a defender, potentially. We get the Celso back. it's
what Alan says about we're not going to get big sign. It's actually not for me. That 55 days is not for Levy to go out and sign a ton of players. That's actually not what I'm saying. For me, it is just showing that we are going to change the way that we act. It might be the case that we might not even sign anyone in January. It's possible. As long as at the end of that time, Conte is happy, right? I don't care what we do. If Conte is happy, for me, that's job done.
Yeah.
Right? Because if he's not happy, he'll walk.
Yeah.
And that will show everyone what Levy is, right? And he will have run out of time. If Conte is happy to stay, then I will basically my stay will stay. I will not be looking at it'll be a stay of execution for Levy. And then in the summer, we then obviously will then sign more. There'll be much more extensive recruitment. At the same time, I would like to see lots of players come in and lots of players leave in January too. That would be another sign for me. It's not a case of if we sign loads of players, it's the only sign, but that's my preference. The issue is about our squad is like too little butter on too much bread, right? You can scrape and scrape and scrape and push the knife back and forth as much as you like, but you're never going to get enough butter on the bread to make it, edible or a piece of bread and butter. It would just be bread with just a tiny little thing on it. We need more butter. Whether or not that comes immediately or whether that comes in the summer, that's fine as long as we know it's coming.
Do we potentially have an issue with Paratici and the investigation against him as well? Like clubs knowing the eyes are going to be on the transfers and him not acting as he'd normally do with his deals and his little loan deals and stuff.
I don't think so.
I still think that's a load of old crap. He's not the financial controller, is he? Yeah. So I don't think that he's liable for what has happened at Juve. So yeah,
I mean, yeah, and right now he is in no way there's been no suggestion that he is responsible for any wrongdoing. He is just someone that the investigators in Turin, I believe it is that they're based, will want to speak to him because he will have knowledge that will aid their investigation. Now, that's not me absolving him of anything either. He might have been neck deep in it. We don't know. But we don't know. That's the point. And I don't think it will have that much of an effect because when we buy a player, like any football club, it's the club buying the player, not the individual member of staff. Yeah. I know that individual member staffs can have an effect, especially when it comes to Levy, for instance, and everyone hating dealing with us because of him. But it's still the organisation. So if something does happen to Paratici, we need another director of football, managing director of football.
But I also think that a bit like with the whole Messi leaving Barca and everything else, that the football world would have known about this, and Levy would have. Levy is that type of person where he wouldn't have. He's not going to have something that's going to have egg on his face, is he? So I would have thought, yes, it was strange, but then okay, these happen. You never know what's going to go on inside all of these dealings, but I don't think as much as we like to think, we know Levy's clever. We know he will do whatever to just sort of detract himself from being the one with egg on his face,
From the murky depths of football to the positive side of football, Jens, can we get your take on the next talking point? Then Eriksen's apparently been training at his old club in Denmark. Have you heard anything about that?
Yes, yeah, he's from what I heard, he actually contacted Tottenham, and they didn't reply, or it wasn't positive. So he's gone back to Odense, and he's training there. I haven't heard anything really about it.
Has there been any photos or anything of him in action? No.
I have to say I don't really look at the Danish press that much. I think that he'll possibly start playing for one of the teams back in Denmark, or maybe go elsewhere in Europe where it's not. I think it's illegal in Italy to wear an AED when you're playing. So he'll go to. Yeah,
Someone's
I don't think he'll
gonna get a
be.
hell
I
of a
don't think
player,
he'll be at
aren't
the same level anymore. I don't think he'll be at the same level anymore. But then again, we saw that at Tottenham, how much his level dropped down. I will take Wayne Rooney as an example. They both started off 17, 18, absolutely blowing the world apart. Then by 27, 28, not really that special anymore. And I think that's what's happened to Christian. I don't think he's got the body for it anymore. I don't think he's got the heart for it anymore. And he'll end his days playing for a lower division team, I think.
And that's okay.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, he's earned it. He's done brilliant things.
Yeah.
As long as he's not jeopardizing his health.
Yeah,
exactly. They won't let him. His family won't let him, will they? I mean,
and it's a lovely part of the world as well. So my cousin lives just down the road from there, and it's a.
Do you think he'll still play for the national team, Jens?
Doubt it.
Really?
I think that ship's passed.
That's really top level to be able to do that. It's so intense.
Yeah. Even with Denmark, I mean, we drink beer and eat McDonald's. So
yeah. The fitness isn't quite there. Speaking of drinking beer and eating McDonald's, the next talking point. Did Jens get everything he wanted from Santa Claus, or was he a naughty boy this year?
I got two bottles of Pear Magners, which you can't get in the Netherlands. But my sister-in-law lives in Amsterdam. Just down the road is a shop which sells English produce and Irish, obviously. A bottle of Bacardi spiced, a rather large bottle of French beer, which is 8%, which I'll have to drink that before I come on the next podcast, and we'll have a right laugh.
You were on the two Brians the other day. I said to Rez again, when Brian put there, they were going live at like 12:30, 1 in the morning. I said to Rez, "God, that's a late night for Jens. He'll have packed a few away by then." And you were off your fucking rocker, weren't you? It's
brilliant. Why not? And I told him, don't let me on any more streams when I'm at that time of night. If I ask to come on, don't let me on.
It was the Jens show, wasn't it? It wasn't the two Brian show. It was the Jens show.
I've got to tell you about this. It's really important.
It's great viewing.
It was a bit like the Sunday that Rez was hosting Eugene's show, and we just kind of took over, didn't we?
I just went mad. It really did. It's just I brought the spirit of the Shelfside Spurs show to Spurs Wagen TV, where we just go off on one. It was brilliant.
Did you see it this week? Well, they were on about. They were going on about. I'm trying to think who it was now.
Jamie was talking about food as usual.
Yeah. And then they were going on about sleeping with Sean's dead grandmother, weren't they?
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
and then Jamie just goes, "It's gone all very Shelfside Spursy."
We've got the reputation. We have got the reputation.
Dear.
I love it.
Next talking point. I'll give this one to you, Renz. Following last night's Monday Night Football, what's your favourite brown chewy sweet?
I don't know. I don't get the reference.
Toffees.
Fair enough. Yes, of course, toffees. Yeah.
Take two, Nick. Following last night's Monday Night Football, what's your favourite brown chewy sweet?
Wow.
If you had to choose one,
say cola bottles. Say cola bottles.
Cola bottles.
Yeah,
they were great. They were. Yeah.
They're brown and chewy.
I don't know, kind of like they do the Chewy Werther's originals. They're quite nice.
Yeah,
what are they? Kind of toffees, aren't they?
Yeah. Creamy toffee.
Yes, creamy butter candies. Yes.
Hell of a go, wasn't it? Oh, in the last minute as well to lure them in after the two disallowed goals. They thought they were going to get away with a point, and then bang.
Yeah. How many times it was like 1-1, 1-0, VAR correction, 0-0. Then they score. Then it's 1-1, VAR correction, 0-1. It's like
Yeah, but I think that was like the second one when Richarlison's foot was like that because obviously he was going forward. I don't know which knobhead from Arsenal's foot was bent like that because he was facing the other way. They were both on the white line, and it was like if he was a size 6, he would have been onside, and if he was obviously he's a size 9, he's offside, and that's just insane. It's just a shit rule. Honestly,
that sort of crap.
Yeah, they did say that. Where is David Luiz now? Is he still at Arsenal?
No, I think he's gone back to Brazil, isn't he?
Isn't he appearing on The Simpsons?
he makes the occasional
sideshow knob.
The occasional episode of The Simpsons when he's trying to kill Bart.
Yeah,
he's at Flamengo.
I thought it was brilliant. Sideshow Bob is voiced by Kelsey Grammer, and they had Sideshow Bob's brother in it the other day, and it was voiced by the guy that plays Niles, wasn't it? And I was like, well, that's a great touch. Yeah, David Hyde Pierce. David Hyde Pierce.
Yeah. Did you see that meme? Did you see the meme the other day where it said Ben White cost Arsenal £50 million, and he's not even the best centre back called Ben in North London?
Nice.
Awesome,
brilliant.
Right, it's that time of the week for Rez's rant. Are you ready?
Lord. I don't know. I don't know what I want to rant about.
Are you ready? Well, I'll tell you, don't I? I'll tell you. So
I don't know what I'm going to rant about, but I'm going to tell you. Oh yeah.
Send to yourself, Rez. Ready? And your topic is now on screen.
What do you make of Chelsea Spurs streamers that haul themselves out to other channels 24/7? Bunch of fucking bastards, right? Tell you, all right? This is what's wrong with football
society,
days, right?
Society.
Mercenaries, you get these mercenaries, right? Always going on other people's streams, right? Often for illicit under the table payments, right? And all they do
under the table payments. What you mean? Oh, sorry. Okay.
I will leave it to your imagination, Jens. It's that bad, right? It's that bad. Okay.
No, but also,
I'm sorry, John. I like you, G.
Sorry, Rez, but not only whore themselves out, but become an admin for that.
Yeah, right. Some of these bastards.
He's become a madam. He's above a whore. He's a madam.
Fucking co-hosting of the stream, right? And then, do you know what else happens? They basically turn those streams into their own version of their original streams.
And get everyone else from that channel on there as well.
Okay. It is time. It is time for a content-producing-led review of football streams, right? Led by an MP, okay? With evidence being given from all streams across the football world to put a stop to what is really a disease within the game.
If I was you, I'd contact Boris Johnson, slip him £20, and he'll tell everybody how wonderful you are.
Oh no, David Lammy will be all over that, Rez. If it's something to do with
obviously, that's not your real Rez's rant. So, would you like to send to yourself before I give you your real Rez's rant? You ready? You in the zone?
Yeah, I think so. Go on.
Nick, would you like to read out the subject to him?
What do you make of people?
Oh my word! Oh,
brilliant!
Do not! Oh, God in heaven, man!
Do you want your real Rez's rant? Send to yourself. Here we go. Right, Third time lucky. You're right.
Okay,
there was a little clue earlier when I said it's a trilogy.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. It's not. Do you know what? It's this journalistic thing, right? Oh, we have to report what we have to report. It's like, yeah, but you're feeding it. You know, fine. It was Ralph Rangnick's first game for Man United. Big whoop. Did you cover Dean Smith's first game for Norwich as deeply? Did you cover, maybe not as much actually, did you cover Steven Gerrard's first game for Aston Villa as comprehensively? You know, I don't mind reporting notable events. That's fine, you have to. But just because Man United have got a new manager is not significant for anything other than he's a new person in the role. right?
Did you see Sherwood today saying, I bet they've never heard of him, i.e. Sherwood's never heard of him. Yeah.
Don't you also think it might have a lot to do with people in the press who are probably around about our age, who have become quite successful? When they were younger, the Gooners and Man United were doing amazingly well. So there's a lot of Gooners and Man United fans who are
within the
working
media,
in relatively high up positions in the press.
Southern United fans. Yeah.
And that's the thing, and that's actually that's why it should be there should be an indictment of that. So because it's like you're allowing your own personal view, or they're allowing their own personal view to color the content that you're providing when your job is to report the news, right? The news about that was Ralph Rangnick has been appointed as the interim Manchester United manager. That's one piece of news. And then on Saturday, it is Ralph Rangnick's first game in charge of Man United. That's it. No, there's nothing special about his first game for Man United. His last game for Man United might be special depending on how good a job he does. But he hasn't done it yet.
It was such a good weekend for football, wasn't it? And they chose to focus on that non-event.
And on something that is going to happen again. Ralph Rangnick is not going to be Man United manager forever.
Game, first away game, first cup game.
Yeah. And to be honest, they do it a little bit with other clubs to an extent as well. They reported Conte's first game at home. They did put that in the report, but it wasn't part of the overall media coverage. Oh, Ralph Rangnick. They just there's the reason, one of the reasons why this sort of top big six has developed is fed by the media as well. When you just report on those big clubs, people outside of the sort of English football who follow English football will just think about them. So what are smaller clubs going to do to be able to compete with that? What can they do? Nothing. You're not helping them, right? Football is a spectacle, which means that the reporting of football should actually be as unspectacular and unflamboyant as possible. Let the product be the spectacle, not the reporting of it.
Did you see today the proposal for there to be a tax on transfers in this country, with the money getting filtered down to this?
Yeah, I saw that. Nice. That was in the fan-led review. That was one of the suggestions. Yes, I did see that. And it's not going to solve things. It's not going to solve things. My view of the fan-led review was that it ignored the biggest elephant in the room in English football, and there's two of them, and they both wear blue, right? One of them is Man City, the other is Chelsea, and actually there's a third elephant being maneuvered into the room wearing black and white stripes, right? If you want to fix English football, the first thing you do is stop the thing that they tangentially refer to as monopolization, right? You cannot have three clubs with unlimited resources or relatively unlimited resources and expect things like monopolization and for smaller clubs to be desperately trying to keep up from happening. You're not going to be able to deal with the inflation of prices. You're not going to be able to deal with the inflation of wages. You have to stop those three clubs from monopolizing the league. When you do that, you can fix the rest of the pyramid.
I imagine they're quite happy to turn a blind eye there because they're spending money in this country, aren't they?
Yeah. Perhaps.
Just to say something a little bit different in regards to money. A guy I used to work with at the Hilton Metropole. He's now security manager at Tottenham, but he's also the manager or one of the assistant managers at Clapton FC in East London. Apparently, they play at one of the oldest grounds in London, and their women's team, who are very far down in the leagues, they beat Hounslow, who are 4 leagues above them, the other day in the FA Cup, and they're the first team to reach, I think it's the 4th round of the Women's FA Cup, and they're going to play Plymouth. Now, if they beat Plymouth, their prize money will not cover their travel and the wages.
Yeah.
And if they beat Plymouth, they could possibly go on to play someone like Arsenal, Man City, or someone like that.
I mean, it's it's ridiculous. The way in which money moves around football is broken.
Yeah.
You cannot have unlimited money being poured in. There's only so much that the system can take without distortion, right? And this is a free market principle. You know, this isn't even some kind of, a lot of people will attack it as, oh, you're just being some kind of socialist. It's like, no, you're damaging the market, right?
That's why FIFA and UEFA turn a blind eye though as well, Reg, that they'd rather people were spending that money in football than anywhere else. So they're quite happy to let them get away with it.
To be honest, I don't think it brings any benefit to the country. It doesn't bring any benefit to the country. I don't know. I'm not an economic expert, but you know, because the way money moves around football, it's international.
What about taxes on their wages? The government are going to make money from that, aren't they?
True, except for stuff like the fact that a lot of football players now are essentially subcontracted. You know, they're not, the employment contract with them is so convoluted, and there's so many other sort of clauses and stuff that tax becomes a little bit of a side piece. At the same time, you've also got to bear in mind, let's say 92 clubs in the entire professional, you know, the top tiers of the leagues, 92 players, say maximum 30 players in those leagues. What? That's 90 times 3 is what? 2,700 people. You know, the tax that they're going to pay is not going to be that. I think if they were all paid the ridiculous amounts that those at Man City and Chelsea and that lot are paid,
they'll be spending in our economy as well. They'll be buying cars and watches and stuff like that. Yeah.
And not really. A lot of it is salted away abroad because a lot of them are foreign players. They're going to take the money back to the countries they came from. They're not going to live here permanently. They just come here to work. You know, it's not an economic driver. It's certainly not a significant one to sort of thing it, but the effect that it has is on the average fan. We're fortunate. We follow Spurs. They're one of the big 6. We get, you know, higher class players and stuff like that. But look at Bury fans, you know, look at Macclesfield fans who watched their clubs die, right? The reason that their clubs died is because they were badly managed. The reason they're badly managed is because the market is badly regulated, you know. It needs, and the biggest warping of the market is the unlimited or the virtually unlimited spending of the likes of Man City, Chelsea, and Newcastle happening. If that stops, a lot of the problems can be solved. If it isn't, it won't be.
To play devil's advocate, because of the sports washing, doesn't it? The public profile of these clubs mean that we've got a way of negotiating and publicly negotiating with these regimes over stuff that we disagree with, like the human rights issues, Qatar and people like that. Well,
who's going to do that?
If they're very publicly owning clubs in our country, and we can say we don't agree with this, and we can put pressure on the clubs in this country to affect the issues back in their countries.
So you would essentially basically be putting pressure on the owners and directors, essentially. But if you read the fan-led review, there's no mention of any kind of human rights, anything of that nature when it comes to altering the owners and directors tests. Again,
we've got their ear, so to speak, haven't we? We've got their ear.
Have we?
That's the idea of them buying these clubs, isn't it, Reg? Because they want to improve their image and they want to try and make themselves look better.
So the last thing that they're going to want is for people to tell them how to go back, how to do things in their own countries. They want to use the football so people don't ask them questions, not to open themselves up to questions. They're not going to welcome our intervention. You know, they won't care. They won't care. They won't want to do anything.
They're trying to improve their image.
But that's not what. If they wanted to improve their image, all they need to do is start acting like human beings. That's a lot cheaper than buying a football club. Yeah.
But acting like human beings costs you money.
No, not.
No, it does, though, doesn't it? Because you got the slave labour to build all your football stadiums, and to go and do all the shit that you want. So that costs you money. So no, come on, seriously.
But no, absolutely. But I know. I don't expect them to do it. But the point is that this is a PR exercise, right? If you're using that, if you have a PR exercise, and then you say that it could be used as a gateway to getting these regimes to alter the way that they do business, that's also going to be public. So what's the point of buying a football club? They can listen to this stuff without buying it, right? If they really wanted to change, they wouldn't need a football club to act as a gateway to that. It's naive to think that because they've to think that we've got them over a barrel now, we can influence them because they've got one. No, they can't. They don't need that to be influenced. They're not influenced because they don't want to be influenced.
So what's in it for them then? If they're
in
not...
it for them, in it for them is the influence that they can exert on other people's thinking, not being open to influence being exerted on them. They can carry on doing all the stuff that they do, and now they've got a vehicle by which they can make themselves look good. Because the it's like when they did the WWE event out in Saudi Arabia. When it was being broadcast live, there was all the talk of our gracious hosts, our wonderful host, this wonderful country. When you've got people in the United States and all around the world watching this product who are not interested in world politics, their view of Saudi Arabia is going to be, what a wonderful country. Let's go on holiday there.
Yeah, they had wrestling there once.
Yeah. It's for their benefit buying this. There's no benefit to us. There's no benefit to English football at all. So yeah, I don't see that as an issue. That was my rant, I think.
Yeah. Our next feature is going to be a new feature that Jens came up with to get Kev to do a weather report. But as we said, the weather is actually. We had a little jingle and everything, didn't we, Jens? Here we go. Look.
Oh no!
John Kevley is a weatherman, a weatherman, a weatherman. John Kevley is a weatherman, and so is Jens a fish.
Jens?
Yeah, Jens is a fish.
What are you, Alan?
Can we just to kind of touch on what happened on Sunday, and I'm still not over the lottery win that was my experience inside the stadium on Sunday. So
go on, tell the story.
Oh yeah,
let me set the scene.
So, the real Chick King,
the real Chick King inside. So we were supposed to meet Rez at Chick King before the game, but we got delayed because of traffic. There was me, Gaz, and I had Lola with me, my middle daughter.
So
he was hungry. She was hungry, and obviously she didn't fancy a naan and noodle or a chicken katsu burger, which, if I'm honest, you will never want to eat because it goes everywhere. So you need a knife and fork and a table to eat it, because poor Showbiz and his invisible friend, who actually turned out to be a person that he didn't pay on the way to the ground.
I'm not buying it.
So
I didn't see it, so it doesn't exist.
Not only, I can't believe Jens is missing this. I hope he's hearing it. Not only did we get an upgrade from the kids' fruit shoot to a normal drink,
Levy will be livid.
No, it gets better. I ordered Lola a kids chicken goujon meal. They gave her an adult chicken goujons meal. And then, to top it all off, because I was waiting so long for my chicken and chips, I also got 5 goujons.
Oh, heads will roll.
I'm up.
Wait till Levy finds out about this.
I'm up a kid's meal for an adult meal. I'm up a fruit shoot to a Pepsi. And I'm up chips and a goujon meal as well.
Your season ticket just went up £9.
I literally felt like I won the lottery on Sunday, and Gazza was involved because Gazza. So if Levy is listening, Gaz Ashton in the South Stand.
Gareth Ashton, client reference number.
CRN number. Blah, blah, blah. Also partook in eating this chicken, the free chicken goujons that we got out of Levy on Sunday.
More
was
importantly,
immense.
who was sat in Jens' seat this time? Did you put an opposition fan in situ again or not?
No, he sold it to someone else. It wasn't.
I sold it to Jamie. Jamie talks ball.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. No, he's had the Norwich and the Brentford one.
Yeah. So, he met
Glenn Hoddle, Gary Mabbutt.
Yeah, he walked down to the front from your seat. Yeah. So that could have been you, Jens.
Yeah.
By the way,
I wouldn't have been in my seat so early. I think he was there. He must have been there about an hour before or something.
I'm getting reports that Donna Marie Cullen is actually reviewing the CCTV tape. What's it called? Cameras from the Chicken House in South Stand, and basically they're going to be speaking to the staff, to the agency that provides the staff on Sunday.
Can you imagine?
They never ever work
again. Yeah, that'll be
free
you gave away.
I'm not going in there ever again because my face will be literally behind the counter going, if you give this guy free goujons, an upgrade on a kid's meal, you're out. This is just unheard of.
That's far too clever. It will just be wanted, dead or dead.
Yeah.
From a chicken meal to a fish meal. Rez, the new feature as announced on Twitter earlier.
Yes. Well, I mean, I think, I mean, absolutely. If human summons Microsoft, then there's a whale sperm to a Randy army of Jose Dominguez. Jose Dominguez Yes. It's well known that whale seamen can reach up to 8 feet in length.
Jens height. Maybe Jens is a whale seaman.
Yes.
That's why he's got no hair on top.
That's right. It's because you need it to butt into the whale egg. You know, the hair would be a cushion to that if he had any. So obviously, with the lack of hair, it allows him to burrow into the egg a lot better. Some of them have prehensile hands. You know, sort of coming out the sides, waving as they swim through the ocean.
Jens is gone.
Jens is not dignifying us with his presence.
No. Or maybe he's off to find a whale egg.
How dare you call Susie that?
No. I don't think Jens butts his head against Susie. I have seen them together. I'm
sure they butt heads on occasion. I'm sure they butt heads.
Yeah. You know. So so that's the thing. I mean, I'm open to Q&A. You know, if anyone wants to post a question in the comments about whale seamen, I am here to elucidate you. Is that why the sea is so salty? No, actually, no. It's not because of the weather. Although one aspect of the sea, you know, when you go to the coast and there's a lot of waves, and at the top of the waves you've got that sort of foamy stuff.
Yeah.
That's whale semen, is it? Being carried across continents.
It's nothing to do with bubbles of water. It is whale semen. Because although whales are an endangered species, the amount of semen that they produce is basically responsible for all the foam in the sea.
On a serious note, when I was researching that question earlier, apparently a whale's sperm is smaller than a human sperm.
Yeah. In actual fact, what's it called? It's a single cell. There's only so big it can become before it becomes ineffective. So
churn out leaves and stuff.
The size of the creature is absolutely no indication of how big their sperm is. Yeah.
So Jens tells us. Hello, Jens. You right there?
Yeah, mate.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear us?
What?
Are you dead?
Dead or deaf?
Chance will be a fine thing.
So a little bit, one last bit of fun before we move on.
Yeah.
Nick?
Yes, mate.
Which of your Scream wives is your favourite? Vanessa, Natalie, or Janine?
I'd have to say Janine.
Yeah, she had the assets, didn't she?
She had the assets. She was fiery. She was great in bed.
I think she's back in it at the moment, isn't she?
She is back in it. She pushed me down that hill.
Yeah, pushed you off the cliff and killed you.
She did. I'm back from the dead.
Shipwrecked with a beard.
I'm like Ben Davis.
Yeah, Ben Davis. Yeah.
Or Dirty Den.
Yeah, he came back from the dead, didn't he? He was shot and dumped in a canal and came back from the dead.
Yeah. I mean, on EastEnders, you need to be shot, quartered, set on fire, and buried with uranium. And even then, it's 50-50.
Maybe that's why West Ham fans are so annoying.
Mm.
I have got a Jens quiz, but it was designed to be a versus, so I needed someone to take Jens on. If any of the viewers would like to take him on, or would you like to take him on, Rez? Or should we save the questions for another week?
I don't mind either way. If we don't get a viewer to volunteer, I'm happy to step in. But if not, we can keep it till next week as well. Yeah.
Talk amongst yourselves. Let's see what we got here.
What we got, Johnny?
What we got here? It's going to be like a point each, back and forth.
Well, Jens was going to win always. So
I don't know.
I think you guys big me up far too well. I know that Rez bigs me up far too much. For all of the old quizzes, I actually had time to revise, and I've got quite a good memory. And
there you go.
The one against Brian was, I think that was quite lucky, to be honest. So
it's good. It's good brand awareness, isn't it?
You make your own luck, Jens. You make your own luck.
Yeah.
That's it, And to be fair, asking what Nuruddin Naybet's middle name was a bit unfair.
It was. It was luck of the draw, though. I did flip a coin, didn't I, to see who went first. So Jens could have easily got those questions.
Yeah, and I was doing my absolute best to try and keep Brian in it for as long as possible with the points differences. And even then,
Nick, where are you? We need you to be a scorekeeper if it's going to be Rez v Jens.
Okay, I'm here. I'm ready. Sorry, I was just...
Okay. Question one is going to go to Jens first, then to Rez. So you have to name players here. So are you keeping score? Bazza, Big Bazza?
Yeah.
So if you can make a column for Jens and a column for Rez.
Hang on 2 seconds.
In fact, as there was complaints there about who went first and got the easier questions, we'd like to flip a coin. Rez, it's your challenge and you get to call. Nick, flip a coin.
Tails.
Nick, have you got a coin?
What are you telling me to flick a coin? Can't we just rock, paper, scissors?
No, Rez can go first. That's fine.
Oh, there you go. As a challenger, Rez can go first.
Okay.
Right, okay. So the first question then.
Okay.
Can you name the not so magnificent 7 players we bought with the bail money? So you get a point. It's 7 points an offer here.
Okay.
Rez, if you can name one.
Yeah, Etienne Capoue.
Point. Jens.
Eric Lamela.
Correct. Point.
Vlad Kirikesh.
Correct. Point. Jens.
Christian Eriksen.
Correct. Point.
Paulinho.
Correct. That's 5. Jens.
Oh, it gets a bit more difficult now, doesn't it? Yeah. So who have we had? We've had Capoue, Lamela, Eriksen, Kirikesh,
Paulinho.
And Paulinho, that's the 5 you said so far. 2 more.
Magnificent. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, my mind's gone blank.
You're missing 2 crackers.
Yeah, one of them I've got.
Chadley.
Oh,
correct. Point.
Have you got the other one, Rez?
Roberto Soldado.
Yes.
Correct. There they are in all their glory.
If you'd said Soldado, I would have had no idea about Chadley.
Oh, if you'd said Soldado, if you'd had said Chadley, I'd have no idea about Soldado. I completely forgot about it.
So it's Jens' turn on question 2. Can you name the starting 11 from the Champions League final against Liverpool? A point per player. Nick, if you can write down the players as well. Actually, I better do it now because you don't know the answer. You might know the answer, but I've got a paper plate here. I'll write it on there.
Yeah.
Jens.
Loris.
Correct. Point.
Rose.
Rez.
Danny Rose.
Correct. Point. Jens.
Harry Winks.
Correct. Res.
Musa Sissoko.
Correct. Jens.
Harry Kane.
Correct. Res.
Christian Eriksen.
Correct. Jens. That's 6.
Oh, Jesus Christ, my mind's gone again. Out of field.
Correct. Right on the buzzer there. Right on the buzzer. Res.
Kieran Trippier.
Correct. Back to Yenzi. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 8 of the 11.
Son.
Correct. Res.
I'm taking a big risk with this one. Eric Dyer.
No.
I knew I should have gone the other way.
Let me just work out who the other one is. Yeah. So there's 2 left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 2 left. And I've got them written down here. Jens, you can steal a march here. This could be crucial. Win the point back from the 7 in the first round.
So I'm trying to think who played on the other wing. Because Moore didn't play. We've had Trippier and Rose. Vertonghen.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
1 left. Res.
Victor Wanyama.
No. Jens, can you steal a march? There's 1 player left.
Yeah, and that's the fucking winger.
Yeah.
No. Sorry, I'll have to pass on that.
Dele Alli.
Dele Alli. I was going to say, you should have given me the chance.
Oh, sorry. Res, who are you going to say?
I was going to say Dele Alli.
Give him the point. It's fine. It's all good.
There's all that's left.
That's all that's left. What's the score so far, Nick, after 2 questions? He's eating chicken goujons. He can't answer.
They're special chicken goujons. These were Levy freebies.
So yeah, Levy freebies. Yeah, taste all the better.
Yeah. Freebies.
Sorry, chaps. I was just having some cheese and biscuits.
Of course, grapes.
9 to Jens. Are we giving that last one to Res for Dele Alli?
Yeah.
9.
I don't think so. Actually, would you have got that, Res?
I was going to say Dele Alli.
He did say he was going to say it. So it's man of his word.
Well, 9-8 at the moment to Jens.
9-8 so far. Question 3 then. We'll restrict this to 3 guesses each to get a point, right?
Okay.
So you've got 3 guesses each, a point for any of the subs that day. So Res answered Dele Alli, so Jens.
Lucas Moura.
Time's up.
No, it's just Cheshire United drew 0-0 with Harrow Borough. So.
Cool.
Lucas Moura.
Correct.
Eric Dyer.
Correct. Jens.
Gazaniga.
Correct. Res.
Was it 5 that day?
7, wasn't
it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Oh, each of the subs on the bench. Sorry. Okay. Sorry. Apologies. Oh, right. Okay, fine. Interesting. Okay. Serge Aurier?
Correct. Hang on, we've just got another guest there. So who's going to do the theme tune music? You ready? Who's going to do the Eugene theme music? Go, Jens.
Hey, I think I had an intro like that before. Fantastic.
Yeah, exactly. You've got your own personalised intro music based on Eugene's one.
It doesn't actually matter what the tune is, as long as it's a ridiculously high volume.
Yeah.
Whenever he does it, I've got to press mute on my thing because it's just like
It is really loud, isn't it? It's like, whoa, just blows your brains out. You've joined us in the middle of the quiz, Kim.
in the middle of the
I'm
quiz.
so sorry. I shall watch and not make too much noise.
Whose guess is it? Is it Rez's? No,
Yeah,
you just
mine.
guessed.
Surge.
You got Aurier, yeah.
Yeah, I got Oreo.
Back to Yenzi.
Ben Davies.
Correct. Gentle Ben was on the bench
Oh,
that
crikey.
day.
Now we're asking. Fernando Llorente.
Correct. Yep.
Oh,
3 each. 3 each. Do you want to see the whole list? Anyone? Kim and Nick, do you want to guess any of the others before I put the answers up just for fun?
Oh, right. Okay.
I don't even know which match we're talking about. Isn't it?
Champions League final. Who was on the bench in the Champions League final in the squad? So we've had Lucas, Gazzaniga, Davies, Dyer, Aurier, and Llorente so far.
Oh God, it's a bit difficult coming into this cold. Sorry, I'm still.
Just back over to Nick.
Sanchez.
Where's your gentlemanly? Where's your chivalry, Nick? You should be taking that.
Sorry?
You should be stepping in to save Kim.
That Portuguese fella as well, Sanchez, wasn't it?
The Celso?
You on about Gedson?
No, the season after.
Gedson, yeah.
No, he wasn't on there.
No, was he? Okay.
Victor Wanyama.
He was there, yeah.
That was he.
I'll give you a clue. We haven't got. He got a watch from Levy when he left. There's your clue.
Oh no,
boys and girls.
Doris, the tea lady.
No.
Yeah, he gave her a Casio.
He left the same time as Jan, and he got a watch. He got given a watch by. He didn't deserve it half as much as Jan. It was the same ceremony when Jan left, and Levy gave them both a watch, and we were like, fair.
Who left with Jan?
Toby.
No, Toby left after Jan, a year after.
Here's another clue for you. He was exceptional against Norwich in the FA Cup game, and he wasn't Gedson. He played a big part in us going out that day. Michel
Vorm?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, that's right.
You got Sanchez. Pochettino's love child. Is your next clue. Pochettino's love child.
I thought that was Dele Alli.
No.
Who was Pochettino's love child? Who did he really love?
Wanted to mould him into a player, but never succeeded.
Dembele?
No.
No, because he'd left, hadn't he?
Fellow countryman.
Fellow Argentinian.
Lamella?
No. Although no one said Lamella. So
yeah. We didn't, did we? Who else did he have who played for Argentina? Oh, I'm going to kick myself when you tell me.
Oh,
here's a clue. Good evening. He's playing with Juan Foyth, yeah.
Of course, yeah.
Here, the next clue, a double-barreled man who is now a Saint, who goes marching in with the Saints rather than the Spurs.
Carl Walker-Peters.
Yeah. Big Vic you got, Lucas you got, Lamella you got, Llorente you got. Right. What's the score, Jens? Jens, Nick even?
Well, I'm 25-0 up, obviously.
12.
There you go.
12 to Jens. Rez 11, Jens 12.
Oh, only a point in it. My God, I didn't think I'd do this well.
As I've got a glamorous assistant now, Kim. Would you like to ask the next question? I'll pop it up on screen for you.
Okay.
That doesn't make me Paul Daniels, though. By the way, I don't want to Paul Daniels.
Debbie McGee in the house. So question 4, Aussie Ardiles famously fielded the famous 5 up front. A point for each player named.
And who goes it first here? Who just? It's Rez to throw on the old hockey. Rez is on the hockey.
Nick Barmby.
Correct. Point. Jens.
Darren Anton.
Correct. Point. Rez.
Ili Dimitrescu.
Correct. Jens.
Teddy Sheringham.
Correct. Who can get the last one?
Go on, Rez.
Rez.
Geeka Popescu.
Oh, he slipped. Jens, can you step in for the points?
I'm not sure that I can. I'm not sure that I can.
I think I know.
Gordon Drury?
Yeah.
No.
No.
Who have you got between you? Just.
We got
Klinsmann.
Klinsmann, yeah. Are we letting him have the point, Barry, or not?
No.
Oh, harsh.
No.
Man, can't believe it was
Debbie McGee. If you'd like to read out the disappeared.
Yeah, so it was Teddy Sheringham, Jurgen Klinsmann, Nick Barmby, Darren Anderton, and Ili Dimitrescu.
I didn't think you'd get Ili Dimitrescu, but
yeah.
I can't believe that was the one I was leaving to
I can't believe you not if you've got Klinsmann. Right, I'm gonna have to get a paper plate out to keep track of your answers on this one, because this is going to be a tough one.
What was that? What was that? You just flashed in front of the camera.
It's my paper plate that I was keeping track of which ones Ed said.
We've got an answer plate. That's fantastic.
Yeah, you won't get any biscuits on there or carrots for the reindeer.
Fish sticks.
No, potato waffles. Debbie McGee, if you could please read the question out for the.
Lordy! All right.
Sure thing, Paul Daniels. Well, question 5 is: Can you name the top 10 of Spurs players with the most Premier League appearances for the club? Point for each.
And that's Premier League.
Premier League only.
Okay.
And that's Rez's first.
Rest to throw. Rest to the Oki.
All right, Darren Anderton.
Correct. Second on the list with 299.
No.
Hugo Lloris.
Lloris is actually top, with 311. Correct.
Good shout.
Okay.
If we were playing Wipeout, you'd say be crap, wouldn't you? You just
The
top 2 answers.
Robbie Keane.
Correct. 238. He's 9th on the list.
Wow.
They would do well in Family Fortunes though if they got the top 2 answers.
That's true. Yeah.
Whose go is it? Jens, isn't it?
Mine. Yeah. Yeah, I'm starting to stutter already. Harry Kane.
No, not on there yet.
No.
Really?
Oh, he is. So he is 254.
I was going to say that surprised me.
Yeah, 254. He's number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7th at the moment, and it was updated as of yesterday. He equaled the person that was 6th on the list.
Oh, okay, cool.
Bit of trivia for you,
Yeah.
and gladly so, because this player's a complete.
Sol Campbell.
Sam Garley.
There you go, Sol Campbell.
Sam Garley.
Yeah, so Harry Kane equaled Sol Campbell yesterday on 255.
Well, let's get a few more players just to knock him off the list.
Yeah, this list was made at the weekend. So, how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got another 5 on there. Whose go is it?
It's Jens.
Vertonghen.
Nope.
Okay.
Jens. Jens.
What was that, Jens? Did Jens get that wrong?
Yeah, wrong answer. You've got it.
Nice.
I hope that's your app and not your ass.
No, sir.
What cheese have you been eating? Bloody hell.
Cheesy goose, free from Daniel.
Now we got the ads. That's just ruined it.
Yeah.
Get rid of that now. We've done that.
Let's go with Paul Robinson.
No. There's a point available. Come on.
Damn it.
Jens.
Okay.
The look of fear on his face. He wasn't prepared for his next guess.
Okay. All right. I'm going to write a couple down just so I can forget.
Cheat.
No, just so I don't forget. It's coming from my brain, man. Who was the other one that I thought?
We need the countdown music, Nick.
Okay, hang on.
No. I'm going a bit fast, aren't I?
Other music is available. We're going to get done for a load of copywriting.
No.
That was such a bad version of it. I don't think they're correct.
We're never going to guess it from that.
Yeah.
Bing. Rez.
Ledley King.
Correct. 1, 2, 3, fourth on the list with 268. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4 left.
4 left.
You got number 3 on the list. Jens.
As I said, I don't know.
You want me to do the countdown music to give you some time?
No, it's all good.
Ding, 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 ding. Or my rendition.
Never need to hear that again.
Ding, ding,
Ever.
Ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding. You just want to make me feel awkward, don't you, Jens, but make me do a crap song for the rest of the time. Try and get my pen to stay on fucking screen.
You've got to twist your wrist.
Ding. Back over to Rez. You could steal a march here.
Jermaine Defoe.
Correct.
Oh.
Third on the list.
Good
276. 276. So we got here. We've got. Yes. So we got him, and we've got him.
And
Yes. So technically, the 10th place is a draw between 2 players, so you could get either of them. So.
Oh, okay.
Jens, come on, pluck one.
Go on, son.
And not an eyebrow.
It's gone blank. I'm sorry. I don't know.
Jens has lost all hope, all interest.
Oh, Jens. Listen, I've been on streams where people talk about you in hushed terms.
I know.
It's like, Jens is so good on the quizzes.
He's just trying to lull them into a false sense of security, I think.
He is, yeah. I think it's springing a trap.
Yeah.
No, it's almost 11 o'clock over here. I don't want to go to bed because I've got to go to the office.
I'm the
all there is
sacrificial
that,
lamb.
Sorry, Jens. Now we're going to get
Now you will
copyright
get
strike.
copyright.
Now you're going to get stopped.
Rez.
Les Ferdinand.
No. Jens, you having a plop?
No, sorry.
Rez, one more guess before I give you the answers.
Okay, Michael Carrick.
No. Nick or Kim, do you want to have a guess before I reveal?
Crouch.
Yep. Kim's got one of them, Dorse. Dorse is 10th on the list, equal with another player.
What about Zakora?
Yeah.
No, he only. We had him on a quiz about him the other day, and he sort of played like 150 odd, didn't he? No, I'll give you a clue. Scored when we beat Chelsea for the first time in.
Oh, Gus Poyet.
Lennon.
Aaron Lennon.
Lennon,
Aaron Lennon is 1, 2, 3, 4.
Aaron Lennon.
Yeah, 5th on the list. Lennon 266.
Yeah.
So Harry Kane's got him in his sights. Next clue, he's got beautiful curtains. He had beautiful curtains to rival Kim's actually.
David Ginola.
No.
Justin Edinburgh.
Ian Walker.
Ian Walker, yeah, you got it.
Walker. Yeah.
Was I not coming through? My internet was.
Ian Walker three times.
It just was like, was I doing a Kev?
I don't recognise your Cockney accent.
Just freezing.
Just looking at some of the answers in the questions comment section there. One person left. Same generation as Ian Walker. He had a nice pair of curtains on him when he first joined us, but then he left, so we hated him and he came back. We liked him again. No.
Oh no. Teddy Sheringham.
Teddy Sheringham. Yep, he's got 236 appearances.
Of course.
So that's the lot of them, which leads us to the end of the quiz. Nick, what was the final scores on the doors there?
Wow.
George Dawes, Barry from EastEnders, Diego Maradona. Stelios from EasyJet.
You're an everyman, Nick. You look like everyone. Basically.
You're a great lookalike. You're a lookalike's dream.
Yeah.
So Jens took the lead, went 9-8 up, then it went to 12-11. He took it deep, 14-13, but Rez pulled it back with a 94th minute header and has won the quiz 17-16.
No, that is not possible.
Congratulations, mate.
That is not possible. God.
But who knew that the man to beat him would be from Inner Sanctum all along?
No.
Out of everyone that I thought would beat Jens, it would have been Brian.
Yeah.
That's the only person I thought it would have beaten Jens.
This is all just some very intricate subterfuge, right?
So Jens can go to bed.
Yeah, Jens can go to sleep.
Yeah. Okay.
Jens, to let you go to sleep, the last talking point of the day, do you want to give us your score predictions for Thursday and Sunday? Who do you think is going to play on?
I don't think that we'll go ahead on Sunday. And Thursday, I think we'll draw 2-2.
And then that'll see us crash out, won't it? I think we need to win, don't we?
Yeah.
A draw and a crash out. Who do you think will play on the left? Because he's obviously got no Bergwijn, he's got no Cess. He's going to play on the right then if he plays the Doc on the left.
He'll play. Can Tanganga play on the? Is Tanganga available?
We don't know yet, do we? Depends what happens with their second tests. And
right.
What happens with their second tests and false positives and all that jazz.
Lavinia then. Lavinia.
Yeah, something like that. You're going 2-2, and you don't think Sunday will go ahead. I think we'll be all right. They'll do their second test and all the false positives and stuff, and we'll be all right. I think we want to play because Brighton have got 8 players out, haven't they? So let's say good night to Jens then as he's the old eyelids going. Cheers, Jens. Mate. Up, mate. Cheers. Same question then. Let's go to our guest. Let's go to the delectable Debbie McGee. What do you reckon is going to happen on Thursday and Sunday? Your score predictions and your scorers.
Well, let's just say I wouldn't exactly be heartbroken if we crashed out of it on Thursday. I know it's probably a bit heretical of me to say it. It probably will be a dull draw, I suspect, a score draw. And Sunday, I do think Sunday will go ahead and sod it. Why not go for it? Conte effect, we'll get a win.
Yeah, I think so.
Just got a sudden rush of blood to the head there. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Brian Daigle made a good point on We Are Tottenham TV the other day. We're going to get banter for going out of the Conference League, aren't we? We're going to get banter if we win it, so we might as well win it.
Exactly.
Get banter for that. It's, best of two devils, as they say. Rez, what do you think the lineup will be? Providing
I don't.
Ended and Reguilón's got a little knock, hasn't he? Do you think Reguilón will play? I think Reguilón was one of the guys that's failed the first COVID test, hasn't he? So he might.
I don't know who has failed the COVID test. I didn't look, so I can't say whether or not the team.
One of them.
Who?
Son was one of them.
Son failed it before Everton as well, didn't he, Kim? And then the second test came through, and it was all right. So hopefully they'll.
I honestly, I can't predict the lineup. I would say in terms of strength, I reckon that he would go strong for both. Conte doesn't like losing. So even if it's like a minor game, I honestly don't see him having the temperament to play a weakened team and throw it.
Do you think he'll pick Dele and Ndombele again after they stank the place like last week?
He might have to because he hasn't really got much choice. So it's and in a way that's one of the worst things about being in this situation with those two is that right now they know that the likelihood is they're still going to get games. But you know what? If they do get games and they come out and they actually show some intensity and they show some design, they show some fight and not piss around, then all right, fine. Good. But I don't believe it.
But if they know they're on their way out and their agents have been told to find other clubs and stuff, they're not going to be asked, are they?
No,
they're going to be asked whatsoever. They're just going to be making sure they don't get injured and just sauntering through the game. Yeah,
right now they're in the box seat when it comes to things. They can do whatever the hell they like.
They'd be looking to impress potential buyers, wouldn't you? But it doesn't seem to go through their brain, does it?
their reputations are enough to secure them a transfer right now. You know, they've not. Delhi might have trashed his reputation with us
and his transfer fee.
Yeah, but he hasn't. There are still people out there who don't watch us every game who still think he's the bee's knees and probably don't understand why we don't like him. You know, so I don't know. I don't see Conte throwing a match. Is all I'll be able to say. I don't think we're gonna. I think we'll have one good result and one bad result out of those two, but I can't predict which ones will be which.
Yeah, it's tricky to call, isn't it, with the uncertainty over which players are going to be missing and whatnot.
Yeah, exactly.
Diego, have you got anything to add?
Diego, come to the camera, give it a kiss. Or give it right. Well, we know Galini's going to be in goal. That's probably about it, I think. So, I think.
Incidentally, I'm sure he's had the press conference now, hasn't he? I'm sure they asked him who the players are, and he probably said, "I can't tell you for medical reasons." So there's probably no clues. Which player was in the press conference with him? Do we know? I'll have a look while you're talking, Diego.
No, I mean,
I think had it on WhatsApp earlier, but I was trying to desperately find you.
I think that I think he will probably play. But it depends. I think Roden will play. I think Skippy and Højbjerg will play if he's going strong. Mora will play. Kane will play. I don't think he's going to risk like Scarlett being up front and everything like that. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I just think. I'm having a bit of a moment. But I think I think Galini. Go on, Kimber.
So now I've got this for the COVID lot. It's Son Heung-min, Lucas Moura, Ben Davies, and Christian Romero have also tested positive this week. Ryan Mason and Christian Stellini on a coaching staff have been hit, with Emerson Royal and Brian Hill tested positive last week.
Okay, so Stevie will be playing, won't he? He'd have to. He's got no option but to play Stevie.
Yeah, so it'll be Stevie. I think
like Brian Hill can't get a chance, isn't it?
Yeah.
Roden will play.
Dyer will have to play when he's behind the striker, behind Kane. I guess.
Yeah, they'll have to rush him back. Yeah, I think it'll be. Yeah, I don't. I would be very surprised, even though we probably need them to play. I don't think Dele or Ndombele will play if we're talking about Conte wanting to win.
He might have no option, but we've just named the team there, haven't we? I guess Skipping and Højbjerg are going to have to play, aren't they? There's Lo Celso and Stevie behind Harry.
Or if they are with the test and
false positives and second tests and
everything else, and then potentially looking at Sunday being at risk, then there's no harm in playing pretty much the players that played on Sunday that can play, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because they'll just
retest them on Friday, Nick, to make sure, and Saturday to make sure they can play. They'll
retest them, and then they'll go, "Oh, sorry, they were positive. We can't play Sunday."
Yeah,
that's the way of doing it.
I'd be willing to call that stroke, I tell you. Although there's another game that we have to rearrange.
Yeah, try and fit in.
Yeah.
It depends if we go through. If we don't go through, they'll be like, we'll call off Sunday. If we go through, they'll be, okay, we'll have to play, I guess, with whoever we have to play with. So I don't think, like I said, like everyone else has said, I'm not that fussed if we go out on Thursday. I know that's probably not a thing to kind of say, but actually, I think we'll
have to suck up the banter for a couple of days, won't we?
Well, we've got to face the reality.
Damage is done.
Well, what the banter from the Arsenal and the Man U fans that are below us all of a sudden? They're just, I'm sure we can.
And who don't have European football themselves. Well, Arsenal don't have European football this season at all. So what are they bantering?
Yeah. Fair enough. Before we leave, then, I think the world wants to know after. Don't know if you heard earlier, Kim. Nick got free chicken goujons out of Daniel Levy at the weekend. Did Arthur get free chicken goujons as well?
I don't think so. No. I think
no mention of it.
I think he got a pat on the head and a naff off, basically.
So the usual warm Daniel Levy welcome.
Whereabouts is
a
Arthur
slightly stale bagel and a pat on the head.
What stand is Arthur in, Kim?
Yeah.
Do you normally go with him as well?
No, well, I used to back in the day. Basically, the deal is he's got a season ticket with his mate who he goes with, and I used to basically get first dibs on when one of them couldn't make a game. So, and that's where my famous story about missing out on a Wigan, my God, a few years ago. It's absolute true story. I'd been offered this ticket for this one random game. And basically the morning I woke up and it was pissing down outside and it was a really windy day and I was thinking, it's going to mess my hair up and I don't know if I can be bothered. And we did Wigan 9-1 that day.
I was thinking the same thing that day.
I bet you were, So since then I've never turned down a ticket.
Yeah. You never know. God, Lord.
Have you ever been offered a ticket to a game, Rez or Barry? We didn't go and then you ended up like being a famous goal or a famous moment or a famous result?
No, I've always gone to games where I wish I hadn't gone to games, but
that's far more usual, isn't it?
That's most of them, isn't it?
Not the other way around. No.
There was a stage where I never went to the Manchester games. Gazza still goes on about it. He was on about it the other day. So for whatever reason, because I play football Sunday mornings, I used to miss the Man United game or the Man City game. And I think it went for a period of about 2 or 3 seasons where I didn't watch any of the Manchester games. But I saw them both this year, and I think United and City. So the hoodoo's broken this season.
Yes.
On that note, God knows what's going to happen on Thursday. God knows what's going to happen on Sunday. As I say, things will change by the hour, by the day, when there were these second COVID tests and false positives and stuff like that, and the squad players are going to get an opportunity, aren't they? Which they probably didn't think they'd get under Antonio Conte. In an ideal world, he wouldn't have given them another chance, but they've got an unexpected chance. I think maybe Dele and Ndombele, because of the perfect storm that's happened with everything that's going on, and the injury suspensions and stuff. So
who's going? Rez, are you going Thursday?
Not Thursday. No, my next game, I think, is actually the West Ham Cup game.
Oh, nice.
You're going to that.
Because I'm not going on Thursday. I'm not, obviously Sunday is away and then the next game is away. And then I'm going to Luxembourg the week of the Liverpool game. So I'm missing that. So
his tickets available, isn't it? Who have we got after Brighton? I don't tend to look too far. Leicester home or Leicester away?
Away.
Sorry, Leicester away, Liverpool home, Palace at home on Boxing Day.
Nice. Leicester have a really interesting season, aren't they?
Yes, indeed.
From an outsider's perspective, anyway.
With all these games coming up, it's also got the potential for players that we want to ship out getting injured and getting their moves scuppered, doesn't it? It's the other thing we've got to consider. Can you imagine if Dele picks up a injury and we stuck with him? He used to who did we get stuck with for ages? Jermaine Genius. Every transfer window, you'd think we're finally going to get rid of him, and then he'd pick up an injury, wouldn't it? About a week before, and you'd be like, oh no, stuck with him again. I think he used to fake it deliberately. I think as Brian Dable said the other day, Dele's quite happy to stay and fight for his place, isn't he? Because he's on like 200 grand a week just to faff around playing Fortnite and faff around with his hair, isn't he? So I think he's quite happy to stay, but his time's up. Any last words for the viewing millions before we leave? Do you want to say your goodbyes then, Rez?
No, just big love to everyone. Thanks for watching. It's one thing that my media whoring has shown me is just how great a family there is out there. There's some really, really, really great people out there. This might be home, but it's the nice place to come back to after visiting some really, really nice places as well. So big up to everyone who's watching and commenting just on this channel and all the others. All my love.
Yep. Barry, Diego, Stelios, Nick.
Just throw out random names.
Just throwing out. I'm not going to get as deep as this.
Nick, do you know who you look like? You look like David Bowie. Yeah.
David Bowie.
Well, he looks like everyone. So
when I've had my hair cut, there was an abs from 5 kind of
abs from 5.
When I've had my hair cut on Thursday, I'll take a picture. Then you can maybe a fat abs from 5. No, just sorry it's been so long. Obviously, LJ's not got his arse in gear. Hopefully, we'll go back to some regular slots. And obviously, if we get knocked out on Thursday, then we can go back to our Thursday slot. But it's just nice to getting people coming on, guests coming on. It's boring just talking amongst ourselves.
Oh, cheers.
Cheers, Nick.
Well, it's just nice to mix things up, So getting people on, and obviously, like you said, Rez, it was nice to obviously go on Eugene's show the other week when I was sat at home with nothing to do, and I just thought, let's have a little, let's turn this into Shelfside Spurs and go off on a tangent. Yeah. So no, and just obviously nice, like we said, obviously Brian came on, the two Brians came on, and Brian came on the other week, and obviously we met Brian when he was over, and just nice to obviously just to hopefully going into
Josh and Kuva said that they'd be pleased to come on as well.
Yeah, meet some more.
Cross pollination is well in.
Cross pollination. Well, I don't think we want any cross pollination, but but no, just just like you say, it is nice to speak to fellow Spurs fans and hear the same frustrations, and also hopefully we can get to meet like we have done with Brian at the games, and try and set something else up with the others that are going to the games, because we're all there, and we might as well see each other in person rather than over.
Thanks to everyone that's watching and commenting tonight. We're up against a big hitter tonight, when we
there is a little plan. It's a year in the making, to be honest, to have a Spurs Thanksgiving to celebrate our American cousins. They'll be in November next year, but we'd do turkey and all the trimmings and all of that stuff, and do a stream with everyone who's sort of here. We'd all go to somewhere and have turkey and all the trimmings and do a stream for Thanksgiving. So that could be something. Obviously, we'd want to meet up before then. I'm not saying wait a year.
See you in a year.
There was a really good idea floated at one of the post-match curries. Bob was going on about a Spurs road trip, and potentially even combining it with a few ideas from someone's stag do they got, where they start off with given a small amount of money, and you have to buy yourself a car on eBay or somewhere and get from one end of the country to the other, and maybe visit all the Spurs YouTubers on the way up there, or something along those lines. And I think that could make a wicked, exactly, wicked series of.
LJ would have to be a passenger though. He doesn't like driving.
It's true.
In case our viewers didn't know that, we do now.
I just
it's
don't
all
like.
Right, LJ. We'll do it on the motorway.
I have parking anxiety. I've got this thing. I need to know where I'm going to park when I get to that round. I don't like.
Well, what we'll do, we'll do one of the motorway stretches. You can do.
No, he doesn't drive on the motorway.
I don't like motorways either.
Although I'll tell you what would be funny if we could get yellow.
I'm quite happy to sit in the back. It's fine.
If we can get a yellow Fiat, and who's going to be out the window with bus wankers? It's going to be Gaz, surely. To like the in-betweeners, we can get a yellow.
Oh yeah, of course.
He'll be doing something with the window. Yeah.
Although I don't think me and Rez would fit in that car.
Yeah.
So
maybe we
could
like
a Spurs YouTube cross between Top Gear and Wacky Races.
Yeah.
That'd be wicked.
Nick, if we weld the back end of a transit onto it, we could fit then, and we'd sit in the back.
We'd have to get Tommy to grow his tash again. He could be Dick Darsley, couldn't he?
It's true. He's
Wacky Races crossed with Top Gear. Yeah.
Kim, would you like to promote any channels that you're going to be appearing on, or your YouTube, Twitter feed, or
not really? I've got no real plans to be a YouTuber or anything like that. I'll just give my support to all the channels where I can, and I would like to big up the Love Lounge though. I will be on that tomorrow, and any Spurs fan that's in need of a bit of a giggle, check out the Love Lounge tomorrow, 10:30. Hilarious.
Yeah, me and Rez were saying, weren't we, ourselves, the Love Lounge, and who else were we saying about
Persuasion.
Persuasion, yeah.
They need more more subscribers, please.
Yeah.
Everyone out there, if you've not visited,
and Colin as well. Yeah, we've said about Colin.
That's
As
right.
well, yeah.
Colin Talk and Bowl.
Go and
Josh.
watch their stuff.
Josh,
please
yep,
subscribe,
Tottenham guy.
like and subscribe. Seriously, there's some
Bobby.
really great people out there. Bob
The
Spurs TV.
Spurs YouTube family is
Yeah.
wicked. I mean,
Really
over the last few months, my eyes have been opened so much, and honestly, such a variety of channels, but brilliant. Each one brilliant in their own way. So yeah,
Absolutely.
wicked. Loads of love.
Is Arthur going to be on Spurswasion tomorrow? It's 2:30, isn't it? Yeah, 2:30.
No, I think it's 1:30 or 2.
1:30 is it? 1:30. Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
1:30.
But yeah, he will be on.
Rez, you on there tomorrow?
I'll probably jump on
an appointment at 2:30, so I can't. But
I'll probably jump on during my lunch break tomorrow. Yeah.
Cool. If you want to see Rez tomorrow, if you want to see Arthur tomorrow with Kim knocking around in the background, floating around, Barry, you'll be at work, won't you?
And Iris as well, potentially as well.
I
Remember,
don't know.
Iris.
It depends.
Iris. Salute.
I'm debating a 2 hour. There's 2 hours until the Ashes start, so I'm debating.
Yeah, there isn't there. I'm staying up for that tonight as well. Yeah.
So I'll be staying up to watch the first ball, although Anderson's not playing, which doesn't fill me with confidence. So, but let's see what happens. It could be a surprisingly interesting series, but I just hope that it's played in the right way and not in what I think is going to happen with everything that's going to be said about everything that's gone on both with us and with Australia. So we shall see. So no, I don't know. It depends how much of the cricket I watch and how much sleep I get.
Fair enough, mate.
If I get my work done as well, I guess is the other thing. So
okay, so I guess the only thing we can say is come on you Spurs and come on England as well. The Ashes starting tonight.
Go on you Spurs.
And let's say goodbye.